Sweet. Should we just crack open a coldie first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sound check.
I don't know. I don't have one. There we go.
Sound check. Oh, jeez.
And I'm on the
squirted.
sugary stuff too. I'm not drinking alcohol.
You got the good shit.
I've
That's what you got.
I've got sugary alcohol. So
Yeah, it's not like last time where I cracked my post-round dumb video where I cracked a Monster can whilst wearing a Triple H shirt just to piss certain people off.
Yeah, you did that. Yeah.
I think it worked. Alrighty.
Sweet. So yeah, I guess hello everyone and welcome to the Motorsport Moshpit podcast. We really need a slogan, don't we?
No.
Insert slogan here, or pretty much it has not gone well.
It has not gone well. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, I guess the best thing to do is probably just introduce ourselves and why the fuck we're doing this. So yeah. So who wants to go first?
You're already talking.
All mean? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm Macca. I'm the founder of Post Round Dump and the co-host of Post Round Dump, Australia's best source of motorsport-related dick jokes. And yeah, I've just been a big motorsport fan since I've been a little kid, really. And yeah, I guess the opportunity came up to talk shit with two other dudes. And yeah, why the fuck not?
Well, I'm Stephen, well, actually, Thievin, affectionately known by this page. Co-founder, co-host of whatever the hell we're doing here. Like Macca, massive motorsport fan of since I was a child, and obviously a friend of both Let's Talk Motorsport, which is Dan's page, and Post Round Dump, which is Macca's page. So yeah, and like Macca said, just an opportunity to between the three of us collectively just to come on and talk random crap about motorsport somewhere. So yeah, that's basically it. There's no script here, by the way. So
well put. Hello, everyone. My name's Daniel, the shortest one of the group. I am the founder of Hey.
I said, okay, Will Brown.
Hey, I'll take it. Yeah, I'm the founder of Let's Talk Motorsport, or LTM Media, with its legal name, or its Christian name, I should say. I love motorsport. Obviously, I made a brand out of it, and I just love shit talking about the sport we love, and that's what this is right here with Motorsport Moshpit. So fucking let's go.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, like I said,
mention the other part.
Here, so it's completely unfiltered.
Yeah, I should mention that part to begin with. My bad.
Look, we're not as big as Speed Cafe or Auto Action yet, but you never know. It's early days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you also forgot that part about how you came second place in the Content Creator Cup last year.
We don't talk about that. Well, problem is because I'm Will Brown, therefore I'm a driver. Therefore, I have to come up with 1,000 excuses as to why you beat me, and simply just because of side drafting, BOP, the fact that I wasn't in your car. Yeah, all sorts. I can just go on.
I love how you continuously give Dan shit for finishing second to you, but everyone forgets that I finished 5th in my own damn race. And I probably would have been up there fighting with you two at the end if it wasn't for our late friend Fly taking me out at the cutting with about 20 minutes to go. Greg Murphy, Marcus Ambrose style, I probably would have been up there, but
that race had everything in it.
Oh, that was so what was our first topic tonight apart from intros? I can't remember.
We're going balls deep into the V8.
Okay.
If we want to, because I guess that's coming up apparently, even though there's been
Sydney.
I don't know, there's been any hype about it, really.
No, apparently it's next weekend. I wouldn't have known that if I didn't check my notes for my pod yesterday.
Yeah,
I thought it was the weekend after.
Yeah, weekend after.
It's next week end. Not this one coming.
We're currently in the point of where we're at the end of livery reveals and all that other garbage. So
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I know. I think Scott Pine made a good point on one of his posts.
Livery, nothing's going to top true ass this year. I'm just saying it now. Like Ryan Woods, 2026 Supercars champion, true ass for the win.
That's it. Nah, well put.
Yeah. I'm truly getting behind true ass. Like I want to really make sure that Wood and true ass, like that's a great combo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got plenty of jokes, by the way, but I'm going to save them.
Yeah, saving for. We got a long year ahead of us.
We got a long year, but still only, 14 rounds?
Yeah, when I say long year, I mean long periods of waiting
Yeah.
for the next round and that. So
That's perfect because it gives me time to make more post-round dump episodes. I don't have to rush them out.
yeah, supercars are so
So-
nice to actually make the calendar around your post schedule.
Yeah, they're so generous. I appreciate it. You know,
And
Yeah.
well, also if we obviously we'll dive into other categories as well. But if we were purely deciding supercars, we'd be bored for us like half the year as well. So
Well, we'll run out of topics pretty quickly if we're talking about this year.
I say, how many times can we talk about NASCAR and SVG not being on an oval yet?
Oh, we were so close too.
It was so close.
I was like, could this finally be it? And then that gets taken out. I was like,
But even though it was only an exhibition race, props to Ryan Preece for that, because that was a solid effort. So, especially what he's gone through in the last couple of years with some of those insane crashes. It's a wonder he's still racing.
No, he did really well. That race probably went for too long though. There was a certain point where I was like, wait, we're only this far into it? Given how short the track is, oh jeez. But it was really interesting though, considering how small it is, how slow the cars are. It was really interesting to watch still.
Yeah, it was
still exciting.
Still an element of excitement to it. But anyway, supercars. So we're nearly there.
yeah, getting there. I think they've finally started to actually put out some content, which is nice.
I honestly don't see Chev winning a race this season. If they do, it'll be a race where all the top Mustangs just trip over each other.
Yeah, I reckon it would be similar. Like, it would just be like a chaotic race. It would be something that's wet, people fucking flying everywhere. Some crazy sort of safety car shit happens, and it'll end up on top. I reckon. But yeah, I don't know. It's not looking good.
We usually
for
see something crazy happen at the Grand Prix.
True.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's always at the Grand Prix. It's like they always go harder there for some reason. There's always something happening. I actually can't remember a boring Grand Prix race, even when it wasn't a championship round.
No, they're usually pretty good. Given how I don't like the track with the supercar, I quite like the racing. But no, I think you're absolutely right. I called it in my podcast as well. Chevs, I don't think they're going to win this year. If they do, most likely going to be Matt Stone Racing or Erebus. That's my prediction.
I think
there's a really low chance.
Well, no, I think Premier will be there or thereabouts, given their form last year.
I reckon it'll be Anton. I reckon he's going to be the back carrier of the Chevs. He's going to be wearing the bow tie, and everyone else will just be kind of tripping up behind him.
But it's going to be interesting to see. I think Pickford and Triple Eight going head to head this year, with maybe a little bit of a side piece with DJR, but also to what can Grove Racing do this year? I mean, look at the form they had last year, obviously winning Bathurst. Kai Allen had an outstanding season, like best rookie season in such a long time. Have they finally maybe got the speed to actually take out some more important races and, more importantly, a championship?
Yeah, I think the big issue with Groves though is they've obviously got two great drivers, great cars, but they have a Ferrari engineer now, right? Straight from Ferrari Formula One. So pretty much every pit stop's going to be shit.
We're going to hear plans. We're going to hear Plans Z come over the radio with like lap 5 at Clipsal.
Pretty much, yeah. They're going to get put wet tires on because they're the fastest tire. But yeah, they're screwed. But no, in being serious though, Penrite definitely, they're definitely a dark horse this season. Obviously, Kai Allen smashed out the park in his first year. Second year now, he knows. Hey,
I was just sorry to interrupt, but didn't he recently just sign a massive contract extension too? Was that someone else?
Yeah. He's committing. So really excited to see how they go this year. Kai's already. I think last time we did like a practice thing. At that time, Kai finished 7th in Dubai with the team. So strong start to the season. Curious to see how he does, but I reckon there'll be one to look out for this year as well, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think that the consistency he had all season, I think no one expected that from him, but he's just come and blown it out of the park. So hopefully he can carry this momentum forward into this season, and I reckon we can see. Hopefully we see the breakout win in the first couple of rounds.
I reckon Matt Payne also. So I guess everyone's looking at Kai Allen, but I mean Matt Payne, would he finish technically second in the points last year? Even though he got completely...
He would have been. Yeah, he would have. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he was kind of a consistent, quiet underachiever last year, realistically. Like, even if you ignore Bathurst. So I think there's a big opportunity for the Painmaker.
No,
But I
definitely.
just think the team as a whole, like you could see the momentum ever since they bought out Kelly Racing, and you just seen the trajectory that they're on. Hopefully, we can see them take it to teams like Triple Eight or Tickford. And actually, not just, and I'm not discrediting any of Grove's past results here by saying this, but hopefully, like we see them more on a consistent basis of actually like being the better team compared to like Triple Eight or DJR or Tickford. Everyone else like be the outright contender, where everyone's just looked at the pit lane and just gone, fuck, I got to beat those guys this weekend.
Well, they've always been there, haven't they? They've always stuck around throughout the years. They haven't been there enough, but they've been there enough to not discount them. You know, and especially Adelaide, and Adelaide proved that. You know, everyone was saying, you know, it'll be funny, it'll be cool to see if Kai Allen can, you know, beat the rest. It turns out he actually gave it a really seriously good crack.
I mean,
so
even though
I
like
think-
it was a new format last year, but to reach the final four in your first season, like that's pretty bloody good.
Well, because of the finals, he did become the highest ever rookie in a championship since Craig Lowndes, and Craig won the thing. So,
he would have. Yeah, he would have.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for the finals, I think he would have finished 7th or 8th or something.
Which is still pretty decent when you consider.
That's still great crack. You know, that's fantastic. So
I guess like
excited to see.
Where did Feeney finish in his debut year? Was it 21, 22? Yeah,
I think just in the bottom. I think 7th, 8th, or 9th, or something like that.
No, I think Feeney finished. I think Feeney finished 6th in his first year.
I'll find out for you.
Yeah, I think it was 6th. We have this thing called the internet.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh, hang on. I'll ask my good friend ChatGPT.
Casual plug. Yeah, OpenAI. If you're listening, give us a discount, mate. Yeah. But I guess the big difference between like Feeney's rookie year and Kai's rookie year is the fact that, you know, Feeney was in a Triple Eight car, and arguably at the time it was the best car, period, and the best team, period.
That was wasn't that the year where Gizzy won like 21 races in the same season?
Yeah. 2021. Yeah.
But that's
he finished 6th.
Oh, so I was right.
So there you go. Which is still amazing.
Oh, that's outstanding, yeah. Like anyone in the top 10 on your rookie year, like that's
like, I think the only other rookie to do that was McLaughlin in recent times.
Oh, yeah. What are we fact checking now? Jesus.
Yeah.
Trying to be a credible podcast.
Professional.
I thought we were just going to make up conspiracy theories.
Going on here, mate.
No. That's the whole point of this pod.
It's all our conspiracy theories.
People want an unfiltered podcast, and you've got it right here. Like I'm sitting here drinking good-ass energy drinks that probably give you a heart attack in 20 years' time and freaking tips. Like,
yeah, but it tastes good though, doesn't it? He finished 10th overall, Scotty Mac, in 2013.
Pretty decent.
There you go.
He won a race, or a couple of races that year, actually.
Yeah, he won New Zealand, didn't he? That was his first.
Didn't he
win? I was there that day. It was epic.
I say, didn't he win the Grand Prix race that year too?
I can't remember.
Yes, but I don't think it was a championship.
Yeah, it was when it was still counted as an exhibition race.
Yeah. I don't think it counted until 2018, I think.
Yeah, 2018 was the first year.
Yeah, it was something around there when they decided to finally...
I remember Scott Pye winning that one, the Saturday race, I think.
Oh, so that was the race in the wet, wasn't it, where he beat Whincup?
Yeah, and it was getting pretty dark as well.
Oh, I remember that race clear as day. That was so good to watch.
That was art. That was beautiful.
But anyway...
so I guess Toyota.
Yeah, what do you think? We've seen it out on track already now, so what do you reckon?
Yeah, I was bummed I didn't get to. I was bummed that I didn't get to the test day, because I remember a couple of weeks ago I was saying I was going to try and see if I get a day off, and then I completely forgot the test was even on, and I saw it on Speed Cafe. I was like, shit. In
fairness, they rarely announce it. So it's kind of hard to know, but
I was actually
first things first though. The GR on it looks like shit. Like, I don't know who put that on there, and I'm sorry. Like Peter Hughes, amazing designer. Like, I have nothing but the utmost respect for the guy. But that GR is just ruins like an art piece. It's like someone's taken a shit and thrown it at the Mona Lisa.
It just needs to. They need to shrink it a little bit. That will make a huge difference.
Because now we've got. But the thing is, we haven't only just got true arse. We've now got Groptus. Like.
Yeah.
Groptus Racing. Like.
I'm just convinced, like, Ryan Wilkinshaw and Peter Hughes, like, looked at it and they're like, "Nah, we're doing this. Like, they're just
it's like I said in the
intentionally.
video. It's like I said in the video I put on the page the other night. It's like they've gone full Top Gear on us. Like they've gone Clarkson, Hammond, May, each did the rest of you. Like
Maybe this is a giant marketing scheme because they've gotten us talking.
Yeah, true.
no, they've got.
What's our paycheck, man?
There you go.
It is part
boys.
of Toyota's.
We'll send them the invoice later, so like we all get a slice of this crap. Like,
Yeah.
We can all get a slice of the GR. You know, it's big enough to share around.
Yeah.
But what do we think of the Toyota though in general? You reckon they're good? What's your thoughts?
I reckon they'll be quick. I reckon like they will have some reliability issues, but you know they haven't talked a lot about speed. If you've seen it, like they're just talking about getting. You know, they've had a fair amount of testing, and there's obviously been all the parity adjustments and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's going to be a competitive car, but they could also just be sandbagging because I guarantee you they'd be finding ways to bend the rules and all that kind of stuff. And you look at like the way even the bonnet's shaped and how small the bonnet is, like there's clearly going to be some cunning little innovations there.
Exactly. They have to be like even look at the Mustang and look at the Camaro. Look at like when they first rolled out. But with the Toyota, like obviously you mentioned like there has been the talks of the reliability, whether it's going to be sound enough to last race distances or whatnot. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be. This is just my personal thought, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be the next Volvo. In the case of just like they weren't really expecting much, and the thing's just going to be an absolute rocket with the right driver. And you've got two capable drivers with Chaz and Woody behind the wheel. But I'm actually more interested to see how the Brad Jones Racing boys go with it. What they can do.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, especially compare them to Walkinshaw this season. Because that'll be really interesting.
Who's the Brad Jones lineup again this year? Is it Mac is still there, but who else?
Andre.
Yeah, so we've got Cam Hill, Macaulay Jones, and Andre.
That's right. Cam Hill was the other one. I was going to say, I reckon so, if it's another Volvo situation, I reckon it could not only be a rocket in the hands of Chaz and Woody, but also a rocket in the hands of Andre.
Yeah.
Cam Hill, I think, as well. He's not bad.
But for me personally, I think Andre is one of the most underrated in the field. Like I think everyone knows how good he is, but I also think that people tend to underestimate how good he is. Like he's always there or thereabouts. But like even I don't know if even in the coverage or even on your track side, like I don't know if it's just me, but no one really seems to pay attention to him. Like he just flies under the radar a fair bit.
No, I see what you mean. He's a fantastic talent, but the car just isn't there. And unfortunately, Brad Jones Racing have had that for a long time now. Put him in a Red Bull, I reckon he'll be, or even like DJR or even Walkinshaw, he will be dangerous. He definitely got the talent behind him, that's for sure.
Well, he was even pretty decent when he drove the Ned Whiskey Mustang.
Yeah, I still remember his first year. The bend. I was there actually. It was really amazing to watch. Actually, really cool.
So it's like anyone though, but like get on. I honestly think going back and watching even his junior career, I remember when he first popped onto the scene with what was it, Super Black Racing, whatever it was called, back in 20.
Yeah, 111.
Yeah, 111. Like even then you could just, even though the car was, let's be honest, the car was dog shit. Yeah, but you could even tell that like there's something about this guy. He just needs the equipment.
Yeah, because then he co-drove with Kelly Racing, didn't he? And that's what brought him. Or
because he raced.
Was it a super cheap? He I can't remember. But it was because of the co-drive he had. It was.
Yeah, is that BJO? He got picked up for like just the Gold Coast race, and he ended up like getting it on the podium or something like that.
That's right. Then he ended up getting the contract with the Altima.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Like even in the Altima days, he was putting that car in places it shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Like I remember until he crashed out, he was actually in contention to win the 2019 Bathurst race. Like I think it was coming before all that. I think it was before all that Debris crap. Yeah, let's not go there. I think he was running fifth from memory, fifth or fourth.
Yeah,
so he was there, and I remember commentators were saying like, nah, they weren't sure about his fuel strategy, but they said nah, he was up there.
Yeah, and even like before he came to Australia, like he was in the V8 Super Tours back when that was a thing. Kind of miss those days, to be honest.
I miss those.
And he was, battling against the Van Gisbergen and McLaughlin, like all these amazing Kiwi and Aussie drivers.
I miss seeing Murphy drive the Super Tour.
He's smashed it, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was so good in that. But you got
My Lord and
Trans Am's
Saviour.
now, haven't you? That's what they are now, basically.
Yeah, TA2, and it's kind of a mixed breed now because there's some old Super Touros and there's some of the TLX into V8s because there was a whole legal thing that I don't want to get into.
Okay.
And now these
so
TA2, and then there's some super saloons as well, which are V8s, but they're actually faster than V8 supercars, and they're fucking wild.
So it's just a giant super tin top.
Don't tell Mark to go flat.
Pretty much. Yeah, they are evolving though into TA2 because it's obviously a hell of a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And
It's a fan favorite though. Trans Am here are really good as well.
Dude,
I genuinely think
TA2 racing is criminally underrated and criminally understrown in Australia.
Oh yeah, like I don't understand why it doesn't get more attention, even just more invites into the supercars calendar because it honestly is such a viable alternative for even like privateers.
The problem is supercars probably see it as a threat. You know what they're like sometimes. But yes, of course they are on the calendar. I think a couple times this year. But still, supercars, they're jealous because in reality, it's a cheaper alternative and it's just as exciting, if not more.
And the cars are actually a lot more equal than supercars.
Yeah, and a lot more cheap.
Unless you're not in a Mustang.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, though, Gary Rogers has switched to Camaros this year. That's an interesting.
Found a new loophole.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
That'll be interesting to see. Yeah.
Gary, I miss seeing GRM and supercars.
Oh yeah.
That's one team I was actually devoted when they announced that. I was like, oh man.
That was a sad day. It felt really wrong as well because it felt like it feels very similar to the Crompo thing now, right? It's someone getting kicked out from the team, from the sport, when in reality they should actually be praised and looked after better.
100%.
I remember meeting him at Pookie. I was like, I must have been about like 7 years old, and I was at the back of the old Pookie pits, which was just a bunch of tents, realistically. But like, he was just smoking a dart, and then I like come over, and I'm like fucking nervous as I'm like, oh sir, can you sign this poster for me? And he's like, yeah, no worries, bro. It was awesome. Like, he just chatting like he knew me, and I was just like, this 7-year-old kid shit in my pants.
Oh, that whole family's mint. I never met Gary, but I got to watch with Barry the S5000s in Adelaide. And I just remember him in his shorts, in his pink shorts or something. They're so down to earth. If you didn't know, if you weren't a fan of supercars or anything, you wouldn't have known who they like, how important they are. And they're just so down to earth, so kind, always open for a chat.
But the big one, but also I think to give you an indication, I know this may sound stereotypical when I say this, but to give it like one indication of like I think what Gary Rogers Motorsport brought to supercars, like even though what like I said, like stereotypical or cliche, whatever the word is, but like when Gary passed last year just before the Gold Coast race, I was actually at the Gold Coast event and I was trackside inside the paddock just behind the pit lane when they did the tribute. And apart from obviously a few, let's just say yobbos who were about 10 cans deep at the time, who didn't shut up, but like you could literally hear a pin drop on the start grid. The place was just silent. Like just showed like how much respect. Like, but obviously, like I said, it may sound a bit cliche, obviously, when they say minute silence, but like, how like there's gonna be some people who like who don't really care, but you couldn't even there was like you could hear the wind rustling in the trees like a couple hundred meters away. That's how dead quiet this place was.
Yeah, not many people have that effect, that's for sure.
No, and I've been to a few trackside tributes. Like I've been to a few at Willowbank where if like someone who used to race or if someone like a founding member of like whether it's a crew member, like regardless, like I've been to like a few things like that. And obviously that you're not going to get everyone to shut up. But this one was just like I said, apart from maybe one or two idiots who obviously didn't know what was going on. Apart from that, it was just dead calm. And I really thought, for me personally, that was showed really what an impact that someone like Gary Rogers had. But I don't know if you saw it, but did I show you the fellas that because when I went to the Motofocus tent earlier that day, this is a bit of a side story, but I went to the Motofocus tent and they were going through like some stuff they had a clearance they forgot I even had, and I found like a mini Jason Barguana helmet from 2000 or 2001.
Oh,
yeah. And, that was that was obviously like a couple of days after Gary had passed. I ended up grabbing it, buying it, whatever, but just looking at it and just thinking, going back to like childhood days of watching guys like Barguana story or Tander or anyone else that guys like Gary Rogers have brought into the sport, but like they were names you grew up with, and when the sport really, really meant something. And it was just for me personally, it was a nice little appreciation moment saying, damn, this guy really did bring a lot into what supercars is now. I might sound controversial when I say this, but the sport 20 to 25 years ago probably has more passion and more character compared to what it has now.
No, agreed. Because obviously, back in the day, we saw all these dramas. They made literally, what's it called? V8 Superstars. You know that show that they had?
I love that
They
show.
had like a panel of
That was
drivers.
solid gold.
Oh, it was. And the fact that we don't have anything similar to, and it won't work as well in the modern era because we don't have that drama. We don't have people like Marcus Ambrose brake checking Rick Kelly. We don't have Marcus Ambrose. This is just, I'm not trying to roast Marcus Ambrose or anything, but you get my point.
Not
Him
wearing
and
a
Greg
belt
Murphy, Bathurst, or Scafie and Ingle at Eastern Creek. We don't have those moments anymore. The only, probably the closest we've had would be Cam Waters with Matt Payne and the Grand Prix, I think last year or the year before, and Brock Feeney and Ryan Wood now. And that's only a little bit. That's probably, I think the media are a bit pushing that a little bit more.
Or you don't have Jason
but,
Bargwanna walking up to someone in pit lane and threatening to clock him if they did that again. Like,
no, again, but that's the thing. We don't have that. So again, we can't really have like panel shows talking about it because there's nothing to talk about. You're absolutely right with that.
And that's what. Sorry, that's what I was kind of like alluding to. Even though the topic that story is a bit straying off topic a bit, but getting back to what people like Gary Rogers brought into that sport, because he was, if you think about it, like names like him, people like him were part of the reason we had such an attractive product when it came to V8 Supercar. You and I just said, like we had the big names and other stuff like that, and it was. I'm not saying he was responsible for all of it, but like he was a big piece of that puzzle, which fit into what we used to have at that time.
I think it's just because they were like more like actually human at the time. They had flaws. They were amazing, but they had flaws. Whereas now, I guess, everyone's so well PR trained, or, they're told what to say and what to do. They almost come across as robotic at times, and it's probably not a true example of the true character. Like, I'm sure if you talk to them behind the scenes, they're probably saying something else. And I guess, it's a delicate one because you obviously don't want to go full NRL where you have people just fucking like completely getting arrested and shit, but like, or doing other things that I probably shouldn't mention. The
problem is though, these days, everyone they've got an image to meet. They've got an image now these days with social media and all that. Because literally 1 foot wrong, next minute, bang, bang, bang. So I think that drivers are just, they need to let themselves loose, And when we had Brody complain about, the engines at Bathurst, I think that was a really good thing to have a driver speak out. That's why everyone loved Shane Van Gisbergen, because he would share his opinion. And as soon as he left, and I think we all agree, when him and Scotty actually left, the sport felt really empty for a while. And I don't think empty as in no, there was still action. Racing was good, but there was no drivers causing drama or like any exciting things were happening per se. And you're only just starting to get that now, but you know what I mean, right?
But I think the biggest thing too is and I completely understand it from this point of view, but I think a lot of them are scared of upsetting their sponsors.
Yeah, that's a big one. That would be a big one, absolutely.
Especially if you've got brands like Shell, Red Bull, Monster Energy, and God knows who else we've got in supercars now paying millions of dollars to push their brand forward. I mean, speaking of Red Bull, Max Verstappen really doesn't give a shit what you think about him, but
no. But again, he's the Shane Van Gisbergen in Formula One at the moment. We need people in supercars to act like Max, because there's actually, if anything, it actually does a lot of good because people, like I said, people are worried to speak out because it will affect their image and how everyone will think. In reality, if anything, it will actually boost your character.
That's where I think
people are just too scared to jump over that line.
And that's where I think F1's done a really good job is, things like Drive to Survive and all that have kind of brought out that human character mostly. Obviously, there's some fabrications or whatever, allegedly. But it brings something that you can attach to, because like if you look at any major sport in the world, the people who have that reach, the players that have that reach, the coaches, they're the ones that are usually pretty honest about stuff. I'm not talking about someone that whinges all the time, but they're usually upfront about things because then fans can resonate with them. And I feel like, I don't know, there's something in the V8s that just doesn't have that same appeal, because I feel like they're not able to say what they think
I just really think they need to look at F1 and see how they do things, because it just
I
feels fabricated.
I think people forget they're humans. It's technically their job at the end of the day. It's just a simple 9 to 5 in retrospect. They're humans. We get, when we're at work and we have a shit day, we open up about it. So the only problem is, though, they are on the spotlight, right? So we're not on the spotlight per se if we have a bad day, whereas they, they're worried they'll, get an uproar of angry fans or whatever. But the reality is they should just put their head down, know it's their job. If they have a bad day, they have a bad day. It is what it is.
Exactly.
No point hiding it. Everyone's human at the end of the day.
Yeah. But again, I think I think, I don't know about YouTube, but I can't remember how we even got on this topic now about what supercars is liking. But yeah, but it's definitely, I think, again, I can understand it, but I think they're too concerned about maybe a PR image, if it makes sense, about like having to be a good role model and whatnot. Like they're too scared to show how they really feel. And you nailed, and I think you nailed it with what you said about Gizzy and McLaughlin, because they came out and just said it.
Yeah, and they weren't afraid to either. But speaking of PR image, though, they're so focused, even supercars are focused on having a perfect image. Do you know what they aren't really focusing on? Having racing numbers visible to the human eye.
Are we going down the top path of door numbers?
Probably.
Yeah. Man. I was wondering if you were going to untap that reservoir, because man, I could go on for friggin' hours about that crap.
Yeah, I almost did on my other pod, but like, I said it before. The only reason I know who's racing what in NASCAR is because of the door numbers. I still have no clue sort of with names yet, but
also too,
I at least can affiliate that with them.
But also too, the one unique thing I love about NASCAR is you'll have, like, even though like obviously NASCAR sponsorships, it can be like a revolving door. But the thing is, you'll have a specific livery tailored to a specific driver. Like, it's another way to point it out. Like, it adds that character. Whereas obviously in supercars, like, we don't really have a lot of that. Like, I think a perfect example is probably Tickford Racing. Like, Cam Waters is going to be Monster Energy, Thomas Randall, Castrol.
Yeah, and that's easy to identify. But then you get people like DJR or Triple A, especially DJR. BJR, actually, speaking of BJR, they didn't have as many livery changes last year, I must say. Which
instead of 13, they had 12.
Yeah, something like that. But the thing is, all they did was, I think Supercars made a rule where you had to change a mirror or something. But even that's not enough. I still, even, I'm deeply into this, but I still get confused sometimes. Well, that's not him. That's fucking the other guy,
I think I don't understand why we went away from door numbers. I mean, it was the... Not
Sponsors.
only was it obviously, but not only was it easy to depict which car was which, but also too, like, door numbers actually added more character to a livery than I think we realized.
Well, the MotoGP, let's put MotoGP into perspective, right, as an example, because their numbers are based off their rider, right? And it shows their rider's character. If supercars have a perfect opportunity to do that with their drivers, it doesn't have to be the same number for each driver. Imagine if they had like a unique number that identified them with a different design and different style. I think that would look mint.
Like they do in F1.
Yeah.
Like, if you look back in the early 2000s of supercars, some drivers did have those tires. Obviously, like Greg Murphy of 51. Like, I remember like a 5-year-old me frothing that shit. Even today, I still get a hard on about it. But
oh, that's what that was. I was wondering what that was.
Yeah.
What around there?
Hang on.
Yeah, let's get the magnifying.
Yeah.
Where's the microscope at?
We struck land, Captain.
Back to I guess numbers resonated with the drivers, and there's like that attachment that made it cool. And I think probably apart from Chaz Mostert, who's 25/1 now, I guess, there's not that connection. And I reckon having that big number on the side next to the sponsor, like that's such a good way to promote your company's brand and your identity, but then also promote the driver. Like, it's just kind of a win-win.
Well, I've got to give credit to Team 18. Their promo with their racing numbers and how they had their billboard in the workshop with Lowndes and Di Pasquale and Reynolds with the numbers, that looks mint. I wish they had that on a car. You know, that would make a
Yeah.
difference.
Oh,
But I
100%.
love, like, even that, you know, I still.
I think, well, if we go back to like late 90s, early 2000s, let's take like when you associated like drivers with a number or something, you're saying, Mecca. Well, I think a perfect example would be the Lowndes and Scaife era of Holden Racing Team. Because I remember their merch when I was a kid. I was a big HRT fan growing up, and big Mark Scaife fan back then. And what smart thing they did was especially when Lowndes was still driving for them, so it was Scaife and Lowndes as the juggernaut that was making the field look stupid. When it came to their hats, they'd actually based a CL's and Mark Scaife's hat merch based off their race helmets, but also incorporated the race number into the merchandise. So you could walk down the street and be like, okay, oh, that's a Mark Scaife hat because it was copied off his race helmet, or that's a Craig Lowndes hat. Number one, that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
And also that would have been around the same era as when Murphy was doing his personal thing. Also, too, like, let's take another example. Car number 4. Who do you associate with back in that time?
Well, Engel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Car 4, Marcus Ambrose.
Yeah, Ambrose, yeah.
Yeah, it was just, I think the relevance of like placing a lot of attention on door numbers was actually, I think it's a missed market now in supercars, because it's just like, oh yeah, anyone could just have any number. It's just like, well, DJR proved it the other day, like when they gave Brody to 17, it's like, no, that still means something. Like even when McLaughlin carried it, it still meant something.
No, absolutely right. Because these days it's all owned by the teams, and which the rec actually represents a number or whatever. That's when that's why Matt Stone Racing has the 4 and 10 now, because they used to have they used 34 from GRM back when they left. They used 34, which we always affiliated with Gary Rogers.
Yeah, it was car 34, car 35.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we're really lacking that now. You know, obviously Formula One, it doesn't have to be as extreme as Formula One. Obviously Formula One, the driver owns that number, you know, and I think they've done a really good job with affiliating numbers with the drivers. I think supercars can learn a thing or two, because even the drivers now have their logos based off their number. And everyone, and even without Drive to Survive, you would see that number. You're like, oh yeah, that's Lewis Hamilton, you know.
Like
supercars definitely doesn't really have that.
Yeah, I remember the days of Mozzie 6 when he was at Tigford.
Or Frosty is 5, you know.
Yeah,
Frosty is 5. Or Davison. I remember Davison with number 6.
Or was it years ago McLaughlin did this thing? It was 1743, the hashtag that he recreated when he was going for 3 titles in a row.
Probably, I don't know.
1743 or something like that. But he incorporated his numbers into his race number into something relevant, so you knew how to identify him. And it was like,
I found something really confusing the other day, because obviously they showed off the Groptis mobile, with the number 1 on the car, right? But you know that all his merch says 25.
Yeah.
So obviously there's something.
Yeah. So apparently, from a video or something, Az wanted to have 25 on the car, but he said it had more meaning for the team to have a 1 and 2. Because obviously they had it back in the day. I think last time was 2011. It was the last time they had a 1-2 on their car.
Yeah, it was when Courtney came over. It was when Courtney came over from DJR.
Yeah, that's it. By the way, I missed the Rockstar.
Oh, the Rockstar Angie. That was a cool livery.
I'm not gonna lie though, I was a bit iffy about the line not being on the bonnet at first.
That's fair.
But then I kind of said, nah, this livery actually slaps. But it just having the line on the bonnet was like just so
iconic.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I think of HRT, I think of line on the bonnet. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the line and the line on, but for me it was a line on the side and then the race helmet behind it.
Yeah, everyone and their grandmother's pet roommate dog knew what that was. You know, they saw the line and the driver, and they said, "Yeah, we know exactly what that is." Nowadays, you don't really get that.
I don't. Yeah, bring that shit back, man. Like, it doesn't have to be necessarily like the Holden logo or something, but like, you know, like if you're a creative sponsor out there, do some cool shit like that. You know.
I mean, there's no reason why GM can't bring back the lion to some degree.
That's it. I'm pretty sure Walkinshaw owns that logo.
Do they?
The line and the helmet's owned by.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But, I mean, then again,
I think that's why when the factory status went from Walkinshaw to V8, that's why they didn't run the line. Well, they ran, but they didn't run the roaring line with the stuff.
Yeah, because they ran it even with the, I think with the, what was it, HSV dealer team? That's what they called.
HSV Racing before they went
What
to
HSV Racing or something in
Boost and all that.
2017 or something.
Oh.
They still ran the line.
Yeah, they ran
their car.
something similar. They ran, I think from memory, they
Mobil
ran
1 HSV Racing.
Yeah, I remember. I think they ran something similar to what they were going to run with the next year's livery. I could be wrong, but they still try to incorporate it. Say, hey, it's Team Red. Like we're still
going back to how they're bringing back the Holden logo and all that. I mean, at the end of the day, most people put Chev badges on their Holden anyway. So like, let's just do the opposite.
They just put Holden badges on a Chev.
Yeah, it's like, nah, it's not American. It's Australian.
Yeah.
I mean, the cars are technically Australian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you want to get into detail, the car's technically Australian.
Funny enough, that's the thing everyone tends to forget, isn't it? Everyone forgets that part. Yes, we've got a Japanese manufacturer and 2 American manufacturers at the moment, but they're all built in the country, They've still got that Australian feel to it. Australians is still built here. So theoretically, you could it's not even, it'll be different if they bought the car and then flew it over here. That's a different story. But the fact that it's all built here, I think people tend to forget that.
You want to know the one thing that makes me laugh about the people, especially in comment sections, who complain about the Gen 3, like the Mustang and the Camaro? Because I can guarantee you, the people whinging and bitching about the current cars are the same ones who would look at Alan Moffat's Mustang and froth over it, or they go, let's go back in the day when we had real cars. Oh yeah, Kevin Bartlett's Channel 9 Camaro. Bruh. Guarantee you there'd be the same amount of people who'd be frothing over the Coca-Cola Mustang or the Channel 9 Camaro from like the late 60s to the early 80s. Yeah, they look at these things that we have now and be like, oh, what pieces of American junk is this? Hello.
Or they jerk
Wait
off
till
over.
They find out that BMW was once in the sport. They're gonna freak out.
JPS Gold livery.
Yeah. It just shows it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, it's like how people like jerk off over Dick Sierra back in the day, and that was never officially sold in Australia.
Oh, that's true.
But I think people go and smash up supercars just for the need of smashing up supercars. Be thankful that even though it's not what we had anymore, like it's not a Ford versus Holden type thing, that you go to the local racetrack on a Sunday, no matter which city you lived in, go punch the first Ford bloke you see after drinking about 6 VBs or whatever the hell they did back in the crowds, or go light the top of Mount Panorama on fire every friggin' October. Be thankful and I'm not saying that people are, but be thankful we still have a category. Like, be thankful we still have something we call the premier class of Australian motorsport.
And it's unique.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, right, if we kept the same formula, I don't think supercars would have been around.
No,
because it had to evolve. Like the world evolved around it. They had to adapt. Holden was going out to business. They had to come up. It wasn't their fault that Holden left.
It wasn't their fault that Ford Australia shut down too. So we no longer had the Falcon.
No, that's it. That's it. So they've just had to adapt. And if anything, they've done it. Actually, give them credit. I know, they have made a lot of mistakes and errors. Don't get me wrong, but to give them credit, they have done an excellent job evolving. And they're still evolving, they're still adapting, with the Toyota as well. That's a big deal, because at the end of the day, supercars isn't national anymore. It's worldwide, right? So and you get so many. It was different back then because, it was only just getting world recognition. I can't say the fucking word. You know what I mean. But but you know what I mean, right? Like, it's now at a point where it's a worldwide level. Even Max Verstappen, for God's sake, drove the car, So they just have to evolve. And when it comes to people commenting, complaining, I shit you not, it's the exact same comment every single time, no matter what topic. I was going through, so I posted a video about Neil Crompton. Fantastic, fantastic comments, fantastic engagement. But the ones that complain, it's literally like a copy and paste. Oh, because of this, supercars is shit. I don't watch supercars anymore. But it's literally a copy and paste. Oh, when Holden left, I don't like it. It's shit. I don't watch it anymore. They sneeze. Oh, I'm not watching it anymore. It's the exact same. Like, just whatever, mate. Rant over.
I just think
very
there's just people.
Yeah.
I can see the steam coming off your head.
Yeah, well, then again, don't get me wrong. Supercars have a lot to do. There's still, sometimes they're up and they take 2 steps forward, 1 giant leap back. But at least they're evolving, they're trying to do better. And the racing has actually shown. Last year, we saw some pretty good racing.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like last year's probably the best season I've seen in a while. At least, especially in the Gen 3 kind of era.
The
I
best
think it's
Gen
probably
3
been
so
the best. Like even if hypothetically you would get rid of the finals, it still would have been an epic race, even if Feeney won by like 10,000 laps. But like, I think there's some momentum going. I think it's been a bit of a letdown this year. I think they should have kept the hype train going like they with the finals. I mean, if you look what fucking NASCAR did with that launch video, I mean,
that was beautiful.
Like,
I
that's
had to watch it a
exactly
few times in a row. That was just like, chef's kiss. Like,
that's how you hype shit up. Like, and I'm looking at the supercars and I'm seeing what they're doing, and I'm just like, I've just watched the Feeney versus Waters last lap battle like 5 times, and then they've said go buy tickets, and they haven't even said anything about like it being a free Friday event. That's pretty big news. Like, they're obviously trying things, but they're just.
You actually have to. The thing is, I've learned with a lot of people, especially in my comments as well, they don't tend to read an article or watch the video to understand. And the problem is with that Friday free pass, that's not bluntly on a graphic. That's in an article. You actually have to open the article and read it. And a lot of people don't have time for that or don't even do that. So they need a giant graphic that says free for Friday. You know, considering Friday night has racing as well.
Yeah,
you know,
it's the opening round.
Fantastic, exactly.
Opening race.
And that goes back to what I was saying about supercars does make mistakes. Here, this is a prime example. They don't hype it enough. And we saw what NASCAR did. They did a Coliseum clash or whatever you call it. Supercars should do something like that for fun. You know, like unfortunately it's too expensive and teams don't like spending money. But even you guys know about the documentary coming out about the Adelaide
finals.
They should have realistically released that in January.
Yeah, in the off-season, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, that would have still got people talking because obviously
keep people engaged, keep the interest up. But the one thing I'll just quickly add to what you said about the free Friday night, I only found that out through Speed Cafe. I didn't see anything from Supercars. But the thing is,
that's what I mean. You have to dig down articles.
But that's what I'm getting to. Speed Cafe is its own entity. It doesn't just cover supercars. It covers MotoGP, covers NASCAR, covers Formula One, covers World Rally Championship, God knows what. Why is it another business is the one advertising saying, oh, hey, by the way, guys, free entry to supercars on the Friday. The thing is, and obviously I'll happily be corrected if supercars did in fact post something about it. But I saw that from Speed Cafe before I saw it anywhere else. So why is that happening?
Yeah, I agree.
It's just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure if you talk to them, they would have some reason. But I just, we're essentially a week away from the launch week, like the week of the round.
But it doesn't feel like it.
No, there's just been. It just feels like a couple of liveries have been released, and like they should be just pumping out shit, like getting people going. Teasing the tip, metaphorically.
To be honest, the only ads I've seen is watching like Fox Sports or something, like just an occasional ad. That's it. There's nothing really online that catches my attention. Oh, there's a race next week.
It's so that the supercars media, and like obviously we can't smash them up too much because obviously they've got so many things to do. But when it comes
and they actually do some decent stuff here and there too.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
But when it comes to hyping up upcoming races, I've found it's just been so dull for the last couple of years compared to what we used to have. I mean, but also too, like their last couple of posts have been like making memes out of stuff that happened last year. I mean, yeah, that's going to appeal to a certain audience. Like we all know.
Yeah, that catches the views every now and again.
Yeah,
but that's not hyping anything up.
But it's not hyping up to it. You to say, hey, come view our product. Now, one thing I will say, and I again probably don't know exactly how they would go about it and maybe how it works. I mean, maybe it would cause too much conflict of interest. But when it comes to, okay, we just had the test days for Walkinshaw, DJR, Matt Stone, and Triple A, correct? So a couple of years ago, the start of Gen 3, I went to one of the test days and found out through something, I can't remember who posted it, but saying, these teams are testing on this day. It's free entry to anyone who wants to come and have a look. Come on down, blah, 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 blah. I think if they wanted to help grow a little bit, and I'm not saying they haven't considered it, but also if you want to help grow your product or even get to know some of the teams a bit better or go watch them, get some access you usually wouldn't get without paying for it at a Supercars event, just be like, hey guys, for anyone who lives in this area, like we're going to be testing on these dates, feel free to come on down. But obviously police it in some way, but like so you don't get every wanker turning up and causing crap. But like push that out. This is what I'll do. I'll push that out there saying teams are testing on this date. Feel free to come down and watch. But obviously, if the numbers started getting out of hand, then you'd stop them from like having access to certain parts. Because I remember like test day for early Gen 3 days, you could literally walk to the back of Triple Eight's garage and just watch what the hell they're doing, or even walk into the Super 2 teams, and as long as they didn't get in their way, they didn't care. So I think
and it's something that other sports do really well. Like you look at, I don't know, like growing up in New Zealand, like sometimes the All Blacks would train at your local rugby club and things like that, and everyone just could watch them for free, and it was just fascinating to go, oh, that's what they do. They do this, they do that, and
doesn't AFL do that as well?
yeah, AFL does that, NRL does that, like.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure NRL does it as well.
It's just
back
a good
in the
way.
day, F1 did that too. You know, when teams had their test days and stuff, you would see fans go out and meet their driver. Because not like, for example, this could be the only time people could actually see a supercar because they can't afford tickets or they're just too busy throughout the year.
Exactly.
And with it being free, by the way, Supercars did actually post a video 3 hours ago regarding the free entry, basically hinting at see the all-new Supra in Sydney for free on Friday.
Okay.
So there you go. They must have heard us and went back in
time.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they knew, maybe they looked into the future, saw us having this conversation. But the thing is, like, again, I'm not saying that they probably don't do that. What I'm saying is, if you want to try and get more fan engagement to maybe a casual fan, like who maybe can't afford most of these events, like that's the perfect opportunity to be like, hey, it's a free, just come down, have a look, have a watch. Obviously, don't get in people's ways, but come see what Supercars is all about, then maybe you'll want to come and watch our events.
Yeah, you'll make some new fans out of it too, especially when they meet the driver. You know. Also, for reference, I know you heard a lot of banging. It was purely just for me to get a DeLorean for that joke I made earlier.
Oh, it lights up.
Yeah, it does light up. It was pretty cool.
That's sick.
Everything fell over in between, but ignore that.
Did it does it break down like the original DeLorean? Does it have that like shitty Renault V6 that?
Yeah, that's why it doesn't move.
So when she hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Triple Eight's secret weapon this year to make sure Brock actually wins this time.
Yeah, well, that's going to be interesting to see. I reckon. To be honest, I reckon it can easily be Feeney's year. You know, like I said, that we've seen how good they are in the past. It was super strong last year. I don't think, and if anything, I think them being in a Ford this year is going to make them even stronger.
I think they'll be out with a point to prove.
Yeah, well, that's it. Not to mention the facial hair that he has grown.
He's SVG. I honestly, this is a wild take, but I reckon obviously being piss taking right here, but I reckon Feeney's now gone channeled the energy of SVG and McLaughlin just become this absolute monster who's just going to get every pole, every race win. Like
that's it. That's it. If you saw Brock Feeney last year, wait till you see this one, because this year we have Frock Beanie. We're in for. We're in for a real treat.
Yeah, I think over the off season he definitely had like a picture of Ryan Walkinshaw in the pit garage, like going yes, and he just woke up to it every morning, and he was just like, yeah,
I
he was
reckon,
training hard, man.
I can honestly picture Brock Feeney the night after Sunday night in Adelaide in his motorhome, cigar in hand, can of piss with a dartboard with Ryan Walkinshaw and Ryan Wood just throwing darts at it, thinking I'm going to get you next year.
He's actually put the dartboard in the corner there where he had that moment. He's just got a deck chair that just.
So if you go out walking around the streets tomorrow, Daniel, in the streets of Adelaide, and just be like, just see Brock Feeney in a camp chair just throwing darts at like some random.
Yeah.
Just warn everyone else, the other bloody 23 cars or whatever it is, just tell them stay the fuck away from him. Like,
yeah.
I reckon Mark Scaife goes back to turn 9 at Eastern Creek every few months and just like has an effigy of Russell Engel and just like puts pins in it. Like,
when I went there for AU4, I actually went to that corner, you know, for media, and I was so tempted to just do this, just do the Scaife. No one would understand it, like, cause no, like only marshals and that were around, but it's so iconic. Again, we don't have those moments as much anymore.
No, we don't.
To talk about.
But anyway, I just realized it's been an hour already and we're still chatting shit. We're nowhere near halfway, probably through what we're going to talk about. Obviously,
it's a mosh pit for you.
Yeah, we either edit this or we keep going. I'm happy to keep talking for another freaking hour, at least you are, but
That's the thing about the Motorsport Moshpit. We're not. If you want professional
we're literally
podcasts, go to
the
Let's
new
Talk Motorsport.
we're literally
Uh,
the new enforcer in the dude where there was no time limit, no script. Like,
Yeah, well, this is the place where we go to chill.
Yeah.
This is the after hours, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. But
That's the beauty of the longer it goes. Obviously,
Yeah.
you're doing it right. So
yeah, more ways than one, but whatever.
yeah, or we're just talking about door numbers for far too long.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
we're just
Obviously back to what we're saying like ages ago. Sydney coming up. Predictions. I think it's a bit of an unknown this first couple of rounds.
It's going to be very unknown especially with the Toyota. We have literally no idea what to expect. So that's literally going to be unknown until practice, I suppose. But based off last year, Tickford will be strong. But you got to remember as well, Triple Eight are in Mustangs this year. So again, and they were strong last year as well. But then again, I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But I won't be surprised if we see a decent run from Tickford this weekend. Not this season, but this weekend.
but just Cam Waters.
Just Cam Waters, yeah.
Sorry, Piano Man. Sorry, Russell.
Well, he's your side drafting friend, isn't he?
Yeah. He knows his stuff.
It's interesting.
Like, what would Cam Waters do?
I think the problem here is you actually didn't realise. You thought I was Brock Feeney. I'm actually Will Brown. I'm the one that gives you the nudge.
I remember the next time. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So you're gonna let me go next time.
It's funny. It's funny you say that though, because I was thinking earlier about a list of. Well, I've got it written down somewhere, but I've actually got a list of who I think was going to win because it's the 3-race format again this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Eastern Creek City Motorsport Park. Skate's Nightmare.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a Friday night race for free.
Next to the
sorry,
Tipper,
before you get into your topic, the Cam Waters race that was Friday night, right?
Saturday
night.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if it was a Friday night race, they could have promoted that as you can see all this for free.
So is it Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, isn't it?
I think Sunday's just a
I
regular
think Sunday's
evening.
during the day, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
is
it the 2 night races and then the Sunday race?
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, I believe so.
I'll have a look.
Because if
we
it
should
is,
probably
I've
do some
actually
research.
Yeah. Oh, we don't research here, mate. We're not auto action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Auto action doing
So,
research.
yeah. So
Sorry, mate.
they race about 3:30 my time. So whatever the fuck that is over there.
So
4 o'clock, half an hour.
Yeah. So it's during the daylight.
well, if we were talking predictions, I know that we were pumping his tires up about 5 minutes ago, but I actually don't have Brock Feeney winning a race in the opening round. I can tell you what I do have that may be a bit surprising. So, and obviously we touched on earlier, I don't see Chev winning a race much this year.
Oh, Team 18's going to win.
No,
Is that
Team 18 won too. David Reynolds is coming back.
Yeah, champion 2026.
So
I'd love that.
for race
Wow,
one, so obviously, hang on, it's here somewhere.
I don't know where this is going.
Using
While
all the brain
we're
cells.
doing this, like and subscribe and follow. We haven't done a plug yet.
No, we haven't.
Sure.
And you're gonna
Yeah,
like
so there you go.
and you're gonna like the intro to this show. Promise me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Do it. Yeah. Like or subscribe, or your favorite driver will not win. I don't know. You gotta make it threatening.
like and subscribe, or I'll send Jack Smith to your house. He won't do anything. He'll just stand there until you subscribe.
And be behind you. Yeah.
Hey.
So for race one, I actually had Will Brown,
Yeah, that's a fair thing. Yeah.
but I had
You
Brock
reckon
Feeney,
the two of the Seagull will?
but I had Brock Feeney in second. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
For race two, I actually had Brody Kostecki.
That
And
could
for
happen
race
too. Right?
and for race three, this is a surprising one. Thomas Randall. I think
I'll be
Thomas is. I think
completely
Thomas
okay
is.
with
Due,
it.
I think Thomas is due for a win. I think it's a bit of a travesty that the fact that he still hasn't won a race yet.
Well,
But
I was talking about this
but
yesterday on my pod.
Sydney, but for Sydney, that's my predictions.
Yeah, well, I was talking about it on my pod yesterday. This could be a make or break year for Tom.
Oh, definitely.
He hasn't won a race yet, like you said. He's been in the sport since 2022 full time.
Yeah.
It's a long time. He normally it'll be different if he had a win in 23 or whatever, but the point he hasn't had a win yet. It's a bit concerning. He's a fantastic driver, but if you want to stay in the sport, you got to stay relevant, and then to stay relevant, you have to win.
Yeah, or just get good results. And I just don't
Mm.
think he's really been at that level. Even last year, you know, I would say that he was kind of lucky to get into the final 10, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, Tickford in general was actually lucky.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I've got nothing against Thomas Randall. I think he's a fantastic driver. I think he seems like a pretty decent bloke too. Like,
he's amazing. Yeah, no, he's very down to earth.
Like I've got his pit board from Queensland Raceway last year sitting across the top of my garage. Like that's, but and it's signed by him too. But interesting point.
I loved him in the movie Up.
Yeah, he was pretty good in that.
Yeah,
hey Thomas, if you're listening, your acting career was really good too, apart from your race car career. But I think for Thomas, I think you're 100% right, Dan. I think for Thomas this year, it's a very make or break year because I don't think it'll affect him staying in the sport. I think any team would want to snap him up. Like even if he lost a full-time drive, that easily land a co-driver seat somewhere. Even if it was for like a let's say like a Lee Holdsworth situation a couple of years ago where he lost his full-time drive, went to Walkinshaw, went and won Bathurst, came back to 1 or 2 years again as full-time. I think it's his make or break year for staying at Tickford. Like I can't remember when his contract runs out. I haven't filtered it, but I think this will be his make or break year for staying at Tickford. I mean, because who do we currently have in Super 2 that's itching to get
Tickford to have like
in
4
terms
drivers.
of the academy, we had Lockie Dalton because he's still is with Blanchard this year for Super 2. But we've also got Nash Morris,
Gray.
Oh yes,
Ruben Goddell, Rylan Gray's at DJR now. Who else is in Tickford now for Super 2? I
can't remember, but even though I think he's not Tickford, but what's Zach Bates doing again this year? He's still in Super 2, isn't he?
MSR.
Zach Bates, he's with Mapstone Racing.
That's right. Sorry. That's right.
But Zach Best,
Master Bates.
Zach Best, he's with Anderson Motorsport for Super 2.
Yeah.
So he's having another crack this year.
I was thinking of the wrong Zach.
How was that guy?
By the way, we got Ben Gomersall and Campbell Logan, apparently.
Okay.
I don't think that's right. But
how has Zach Best not got a main game seat? I don't get it. Like he's won Super 2. Yeah, I know. Obviously, his like wildcard debut had some question marks with the tires and things like that at the bend. But like, it's not like he's been shit.
Yeah,
no, I think it comes down to who. No offense to Jackson Walls, but he's a prime example as well. He's a paying like whoever pays the most, really. Unfortunately,
Team of Jack Smith.
Yeah, that too. Jack Smith is the GOAT. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, let's say he's trying to, do it's pretty much just blasphemy. He's trying to be the GOAT.
But I think with Thomas Randall though, I think it's very similar to even though Thomas is still pretty like fresh in his career, but the way I see it now is it's similar to a Will Davison situation last year. Like it's and the thing is like obviously because Will like Will's not exactly getting any younger. Like he's still fast. Obviously, it wasn't working anymore. But I think, and I'm not saying that Thomas is old or washed up or anything like that. I'm not saying Will is either. But what I am saying is, I think it's the fact of this year is probably, this is just my opinion, but it's going to have to be, you need some like solid results. You need to go get a couple of race wins. You need to go fight for this. You need to grab this thing by the scruff of the neck. You need to be up there with Cam. Otherwise, other time of waiting in the way. I mean, how long did Tickford wait until they finally showed? Ironically, Will Davison the door, or even showed Frosty the door.
Yeah, that's it. A lot longer than Team 18 did. I'll give you that. With Frosty, but I just had a look. Even though we're not researching, they're contracted till the end of next year. Both Cam Waters and Thomas Randall, apparently.
That's right, because that's when I think it was it Premiere was trying to steal
Cam. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But your point though, you make a really good point, because not only is it a make or break year for Thomas, but it might be just Tickford in general. Because if they have another bad run like they've had the last few years, they might be looking at reshaping their team. Obviously Cam might, but even Cam, he might be wanting to reshape his career like for his next move. Is he going to NASCAR maybe or something? You've got to put that into perspective as well. So it's going to be really interesting as a whole.
I think for a team like Tickford, Like, we need teams like that. They've been around for so long now. They're iconic. But again, they're the Ferrari of supercars. They've got more than enough means to actually go out and do the job, but it just never falls their way, whether it's their own fault or something goes wrong. But when you've got guys who are caliber of like Cam Waters or gosh, who else is there that doesn't have the results to their name? Like let's take Anton.
Yeah, Anton's a really good one. Yeah.
Guys like Anton, or even though we know what happened last year at the final race, but guys like Brock Feeney, or even like we've got some really like even for let's take last year's champion, let's take Chaz. For the longest time, guys we know who are capable of doing job just never fell their way. And I'm not saying it's because of like, oh, they just couldn't beat Triple Eight. I mean, beating Triple Eight is like trying to find a needle in a stack of needles.
Yeah.
But they're more. I think there have been on multiple occasions in the last decade. Like obviously, Walkinshaw prevailed last year, but Tickford or even DJR after Scotty Mack left, I think they probably had the tools and resource there to take it to Triple Eight, potentially beat it, just never did it.
It's because they got rid of all the Debris.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You're not wrong. That's when Penske left too. So all their resources and team left. They were pretty much DJR was pretty much left with the shell, literally, of the team in 2021. Sorry, Shell V Power, I should say.
Hey, don't use their full name unless they pay us, all right?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll send an invoice.
Yeah. Well, just
but
like
you know what I mean.
fill
Like,
my tank up.
It just shows if you don't. Again, it goes back to my argument. If you don't have the right people with you, you know, and like Triple Eight's a prime example. They've had the right people all the time. That's why they're so.
That's
good.
why we ended up having the Scotty Mack era, because DJR were there or thereabouts, but they never had the correct people there. And then when obviously, well, even in the first couple of years when Roger Penske's money was there, they still weren't exactly where they should. But when they got the right people,
it took them a few years. Yeah,
it's when they changed Scott's.
Pretty much, yeah. They went from a pie to a McLaughlin.
Went from a pie to a
he's not gonna...
Yeah.
Yeah, to a Kiwi as well. Good choice.
Yeah, Aussie to a Kiwi.
I guess you could say they traded the pie for a Big Mac.
Yeah.
That took me a second. No, but yeah, so I don't know what your guys' predictions are for round one or even the year, but yeah, that's all I've got for round one at least. But I reckon this year's a very big unknown.
This year I've got Brock Feeney and just Triple Eight.
I can
again, question mark with Toyota, but I just think they're going to be really strong this year. There's no doubt. But round one, definitely, if it's anything like last year, could be either Triple Eight. I think what you said before was, I think that's pretty bang on. You know, I can't. That's pretty realistic, to be honest. With even the Brody one, you know, that's pretty realistic. Or Tom, even if he plays his cards right, that's definitely not out of the question.
I reckon Toyota will just come in bid dick energy. I'm just seeing someone like Ryan Wood chucking it on pole first time and just, you know, like may not necessarily win, but he will be fucking quick.
That could happen too.
Yeah.
You know what will be interesting is if somehow we get the data revealed this weekend, because for the 12-hour they're doing an engine comparison test. At Bathurst for the 3 manufacturers, so that could be a telling point. I don't know. I don't think Brody Kostecki's going to be there. But he'll be talking about it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be.
That'll be interesting if we get in.
He's running a different altitude, like.
Yeah,
he'd probably stick it on pole again.
Yeah,
it was like that Gru meme you made last year, Macca. It's just like say that the Chevs haven't been unfair advantage. Blame parties. Go fastest in top 10. Don't go fastest in top 10 shootout.
It just didn't back him up, eh? Like. Oh, if he didn't do that, it probably would have been believable. But I just think, yeah. But
I think the big question this year is like, there's obviously been a big amount of parity testing again, and they've obviously gone even more intense than they did last year. With all 3 cars. So I guess the big issue will be, will the changes affect the Mustangs? And because obviously the Mustangs looked like they were probably the better car towards the end of last year, arguably.
Well, the only dominant Camaro in the 10 was Triple Eight.
Yeah.
Besides from another team here and there. But no, you're
probably
right.
Some guy on Facebook going, "No, you're wrong, fucking Shiv bias." I don't know, some
And
shit.
that's why Supercars is shit, and I don't watch it.
It's because Scaife has his finger in the pie, and as long as the Chev product wins, you can hear him blowing
Okay.
his load every time bloody the Chev car wins, and crying over Brock
Do you know-
Sweeney losing.
Do you know what I find absolutely hilarious? Even
We're
I'm
gonna
copying
clip
it.
that one for sure.
Yeah. Do you know what I find hilarious? And even I'm copying it on my socials about the Crompo leaving, right? And by the way, I just want to point out the one who gave us the insight on the extensive wind tunnel testing in the US was Crompo.
Yeah.
You know, he was the voice of that whole period. Anyway, back to my topic. All these people in the comments are saying they don't. It proves that they don't read or watch anything. They're saying, "Oh, they got rid of the wrong person." I mean, yes, they did, but they don't factor in the fact that Scaife is gone too. So,
Look, one of the funniest things
It's
about
pretty obvious. Sorry, it's
Sorry,
pretty
oh.
obvious why they
Yeah.
are both gone now, right? Because they're both on the Epstein list.
Prove me
It's
wrong.
only
Prove me
episode
wrong.
one, you gotta get us arrested by the feds, mate. Like, come on. Like, no, but it's funny. You go back to you go back to what people would say, like, oh, about Scaife and about his apparently he's all biased and all this other crap, and then this ties in with your save Crompo argument. I can't remember when this was. This is a couple of years ago now. I think Scaife had made a call about something that happened in a race, and people weren't happy about it. Like, obviously, it must happen every weekend. But I can't remember what it was. I think it was something specific. And there was this one person who said something. I think it was on it might have been a Speed Cafe article. I can't remember. And they were saying, "Oh, garbage like this is why I love Neil Crompton and all this other stuff too. Like, he's not biased towards Holden or Chev products and all this other stuff. Like, he's just out and out." I just said, funny, Dad, do you remember he was a factory Holden driver? And this person didn't know what to do. And they're like, no, he wasn't. And it's just like, well, what's this? And it's Crompo behind the wheel of like a VP HRT Commodore back in the early 90s.
And not to mention he's literally heavily, and I mean heavily, involved in the whole Toyota program now.
Well, he was also a factory
That's
Nissan driver at one point. So for anyone,
That's true.
well, they want to try to claim that he's not biased towards. It's like, no, Crompo is a clear example of like he's biased, but he's not biased to one particular person. Or
Wasn't he part of full
like, he's
performance racing as well?
Yeah. Tick
I'm
food,
pretty sure
I
he's
guess.
been a factory driver for every freaking team out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
See,
the point I was
drove
making
with,
was
Bounty.
like, oh yeah, 00 Motorsport.
Green
but
Eyed Monster.
the point I was getting at,
Yeah, but he didn't have the green eyes, I don't think, from memory.
Well, he didn't, but the 2002 Bathurst, they teamed up together, and that was the
Yeah,
Green Eyed
that's right.
Monster, and they were doing right, and then a plastic bag fucked them up.
Debris.
But the point I was making was it's like, oh, he wouldn't like, they tried to make the point of like, oh, he wouldn't support Holden or anything else like that. It's just like, dude, he literally raced for at one point. He literally raced for their factory team. Shut up. Like,
And it's like, for both of them, to be honest, like, at the end of the day, they're not going to be manufacturer biased. They're going to do what's best for the sport, because that's what gives them money. The better the sport is, the more income they'll get. Like, if they go and make Holden the 100% dominant or Ford 100% dominant, that's going to be shit for the sport. They don't want that. So, like, I think the argument is a bit invalid at times, but I do actually think it's good they're trying to shake up the commentary team, though. I think, and I was actually talking to Richie from CNK Motorsport about this ages ago, because he kind of brought it up at how, because he's kind of come back into the finals and got all excited and things, and it's like it gets a bit dry after a while with Crompo and Scaife during the races, and it's like either they have a third person in there that's kind of a caller or a commentator, like a Lee Diffie kind of guy, or even a Greg Rust kind of thing, or they completely shake it up. And I still think they should have Crompo as like maybe not in the commentary team, but as in like walking the grid and talking to people and, you know, hyping up the event. Because I do think that, you know, he's the voice, but I do think he has a level of professionalism. But I never really thought his commentary was, he was more of like the background guy that spoke up occasionally, and you kind of need, I don't know, it was always a bit weak towards the end, and they end up talking about fucking tires for half the race. And I mean, I think the tires are interesting, but
Not
you know, there's more. Yeah, there's other stories going on, and it's like that's what kind of frustrates me.
I mean, it's the same. Like, going by their argument, though, it's like, well, why don't you why did they ever get rid of Gary Wilkinson? Like, he's still kicking, or bring Mark Osler back. Like, that's the logic they're using.
Yeah, what they need to do, and what they have lacked for a number of years, and only sometimes you get this, is remember back what I find memorable about having Crompo, Matt Wyatt, and Mark Scaife together. Yes, there was 3 people and they bounced off really well, but you had someone who doesn't know anything about driving the car or being part of that team, and then they can bounce off, and Crompo can help, for example, get the expert in to help give you that analysis. But it's good to have someone like us who, or like the couch sitters, a chance to represent them in a way in the commentary booth. Because
you
you
also
want
have
someone,
the driver aspect in Scaife.
yeah, you want someone who isn't smart enough in terms of knowing about every single. You don't want to lark them in there. Well, you do, but that's besides the point. You want someone who is still learning themselves, and they're just calling the sport as it is, as what they see. But then you've got people like Crompo, Scaife, who's very knowledgeable, by the way. I think he's very smart in what he does. Not a fan of his commentating, but he is very knowledgeable. You need someone like him to bounce off and not only educate the commentator, but in a way, it feels like he's educating you as well to some degree. And I think they just need that dynamic. They don't have that at the moment. They just have 2 experts who are probably too smart for what they do at the moment.
Which is kind of like what we had when we had guys like let's take Crompo, Barry Sheen, Mark Osler, and Lee Diffie in the combox together.
Oh, that was an epic dynamic.
That went so friggin' well.
And even Barry Sheen back in the day as well. Yes, he wasn't part of supercars. He had, he was the motorbike side of things. But a character like him would be great to have again. But F1, even Crofty, he's that commentator that never drove. He has driven one, but he was never a driver before commentating. And then he can bounce off the likes of Karun Chandok or whoever else, or Martin Brundle. He had that dynamic of bouncing off because he actually asked the expert the questions, whereas there's no one's asking questions here in supercars.
No, it's just
because they already know the answer.
Well, they're not painting the picture. You look at like the early 2000 commentary of supercars, and I think a good example is like the Lap of the Gods. They're like painting the picture. The Holden fans are roaring. All that kind of stuff.
Look at
it's
the
not just about,
it's awesome.
Yeah, like that gets people going, and
especially in that lap too. Sorry to interrupt, but especially in that lap too. I remember that clear as day. Like I remember that lap, and then the Sunday race the following day, obviously. But you had Crompo chiming in saying about. You had Crompo chiming in at the correct moment saying, "Oh, look at the split time. Look how much he's up on John Bow." And then you got Matt White painting the picture of just like he's just going absolutely like he's sending this thing down the straight. Like it was
unleashing
even
the
though
shackles.
Sometimes there was times when Matt White used to annoy me, but like he just commentators like that, especially like him and Crompo, you literally had that dynamic where they like you said, then they could bounce off each other, and it just made commentary gold. Like, and I think nothing against Mark Scaife, nothing against Crompo now, but like I'll agree with what Richie said a couple of weeks ago. Cheeky plug for follow CNK Motorsport for like anything racing, because some of the content he does is absolutely supreme. But we'll link it in the description or whatever. But he is right. Like I think even Bathurst last year, even though like that was one of the craziest races in the last 10 years, but even then it was still a bit stale. And I think, like I said, nothing against Scaife, nothing against Crompo, but I think all good things must come to an end. I think don't get rid of Scaife and don't get rid of Crompo entirely. Have a new commentary box, but have them in a different role. That's what I would do. I'd be like, okay, Crompo, you go to the pit lane, you team up with Larko, or here's an idea. Lowndes, he's still part of Supercars Media, isn't he?
Yeah.
Can you imagine him? Can you imagine him doing him and Mark Scaife teaming up and doing driver interviews up and down the pit lane? That'd be mint.
Yeah. Oh, that would be mega. Because
especially the history
he's good at hard pressing drivers. When you need someone to pressure the drivers at that moment. When they're so heated. That's when their true personality can come out, and that will create good television.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've heard that James Courtney is being part of the pit reporting apparently, and I reckon that's a fucking great idea because he seems like the
He's
kind
a
of guy
character.
that can, yeah, he's a character, but I feel like he can feed banter off the drivers,
Yeah.
and that's a really important skill. Whereas some driver, some commentators might just go in there and be like, "How was the car?" and the driver's just like, good. There's no like banter going on. Whereas I feel like James Courtney will probably just be like, "Mate, your fucking flies down,"
Yeah.
or something. You just like try to like
We
wind
need
them up a
David
bit.
Reynolds in the commentary booth. That's what.
Oh my god, yeah, it'd get fucking
I
banned within
reckon-
10 seconds.
Yeah.
I reckon now that he's no longer driving, I reckon stick GT in the com box. I reckon Tander. I reckon give him a couple of races and Tander would get really comfortable, and you'd see another
Yeah.
side to Garth that we'd probably never
So,
seen.
I actually love Tander's commentary, like in Super 2 and all that. I think he gives good driver insight, but there's also like he's a bit of a cheeky guy as well, so it kind of brings out a bit more.
he's still
think he's
fresh enough to,
Yeah,
he just recently finished as well. So it's not like
Yeah. and
Crompo,
funny-
yes, he drove. Well, Scafie actually is probably a better example because last time he raced was that Bathurst race with Ingle and Longhurst. Whereas Crompo drove the Toyota recently. So, but again, just going back to Matt Wyatt, what I remember the most is when Murphy went backwards into pit lane. He provided that emotional aspect to it. So he doesn't care about regulation.
The belt
He doesn't. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's the feeling. Like
Yeah.
when you do something so incredible, right? Logic is out the window. That comes after. You're just thinking about, holy shit, like this just happened. No, you're not really thinking logically, and that's what Murphy did going backwards. And Matty White provides that insight. He gives you that feeling. And yeah, so it's good to have that. But going back to the commentary booth now, let's say Crompo is gone, right? And Scafie is gone. Like that's all confirmed and locked in. Who would you have in the commentary booth and pit lane?
us three.
We'd be fired.
Would be a lot cheaper. Oh yeah, we'd be fired. But look, I mean,
just
come on, would be a lot cheaper.
and you'd be fine. Dan, that's actually a tough one. Well, obviously,
Bring
I said
back Murphy.
I'd have GT in the com box.
I'd throw a lot of money, Lee Tiffy. I know
Nah,
it's
he's
not
too
gonna
busy in
happen, but
America, bro.
Just
I'd love to have
throw
him.
like $10 million at him and just be like, hey.
No, he's a movie star now. He's in the
True.
movie and all.
Would it be
True.
conflict of interest to have Ryan Walkinshaw in the com box?
I don't think he'll be allowed, to be honest.
It'd be fucking good entertainment though. I could see him just being a
Hilarious.
smart
Oh
ass.
yeah, if we think JC or what do you think
Like,
JC got?
can you imagine if Ryan Walkinshaw was in the com box and Woody just fences it? Is all that fucking wanker? Like,
You just hear him celebrating.
He'll like smack the
no,
dash.
actually,
goes,
no, sorry. I've got one which is gonna piss off everyone. And it's gonna influx our page with friggin' so much hate. Roland Dane.
I reckon he'd be good insight. I genuinely reckon, like, not in the commentary box, but as like a behind the scenes kind of guy. Yeah, because he's a fucking knowledgeable guy, and you listen to him on a podcast, and the guy can tell some stories, and he can go
incredibly intelligent.
Yeah,
really intelligent.
I just said that because like you just get so many people just like, oh, Daddy Dane bias, all this and how much is Triple A paying you?
My God. Get
I'm
Paul
waiting till
Morris
someone.
in the booth, get Paul Morris.
Yeah.
No, if you're gonna get Paul Morris, no, sorry, I'll stop you there. If you're gonna get Paul Morris, bring back Russell Ingle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, bring Ingle back anyway. He actually did an incredible job.
Paul Morris, Russell Ingle, Garth Tander. That'd be friggin' epic.
Yeah. So I feel that with Russell, like even like in those early Fox days, he would disagree with the commentary team on things. I remember like him and Scafie arguing about the speed bumps at Adelaide in turn 1 and what they should do to fix them, because there's all that timing loop shit that happened back in the day.
Yeah, he was actually really. I loved that.
Yeah, I remember that was when Frosty got screwed over by, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it's like, it's good that they have these different opinions, because I honestly didn't know. They kind of made both valid points. Like I kind of agreed with what Scafie was saying, and I agreed with what Ingle was saying, even though they didn't agree with each other. And it's like, that's the kind of discussion you need. You need to go, okay, there's more than one solution to a problem.
You need both ends of the story to do it. Like you need. That's why I don't understand why supercars let Russell go, because you had like the very like. And this is no way a knock on Russell Ingle, but when you compare him and Mark Scaife, like, for a massive expert analysis, considering what Scaife did in his career, you'd want to listen to him. But for a completely, like, pardon my language, but no bullshit type of view, that's when you'd need Russell Ingle.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think Scott Pye gave us a good perspective about it when he went on the pit lane sort of side of things of broadcasting. You know, they're too scared to actually let the people have opinions. You know, I think that's also another issue, and probably Ingle had too many opinions. Again, it goes back to even broadcasting is like drivers; they're too scared of their image to do something bold and not normal. You know.
Once again, I reference F1, which is again like if you look at when like Villeneuve was on, and they're like asking him a question, obviously trying to like make some bullshit up, and he's just like, no. Like,
Yeah.
I actually appreciate someone just being like, nah, I don't agree with you.
This is
and
stupid.
it's like,
I don't want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like obviously explaining it, but because it creates dialogue, it creates different points of view, and like people connect with that a lot more. Like it's just like having an everyday conversation with people at work. You know, you're gonna have people who are completely different opinions about fucking if it's Palmer or Palmy, and I'm not going to get into that too much because you know I don't want to create a
we all
civil
all
war.
know the answer is Palmer.
The fucking Palmy, mate.
Can we all agree they taste amazing?
I will die on that hill, hey.
That cheesy hill.
I will die on that friggin' hill. Also, let us know in the comments below, is it Palmer or Palmy? And if it's Palmer, you are wrong. Don't listen to us ever again.
Oh, do you know what I found funny, right? When I went to Formula 4 for Sydney, we went to a restaurant near the track, and it said Palmer. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck is this shit? You know? I said to Vance, like, they don't have any Palmies here. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
They have this thing called a Palmer instead. I was like, what? Must be like an Army knockoff.
A Palmy is something Hawker gives you.
We
Just
use a
saying.
race car.
Okay, like if we're speaking about racetracks and food at a racetrack, well, you're saying this is a restaurant near track, but I'll say it couldn't be any worse than getting something out of the hot box at Queensland Raceway, because the last time I went there, I went and bought this chicken burger that was sitting in the hot box, and the only way I could compare it was like saying it must have been a relative of Anne Frank. That's how burnt it was. Like,
it must have been as burnt as the spindle that Mark Larkham touched back in the day. If you want a good chicken burger, go to Sydney Motorsport Park. They have a really good chicken burger there.
I've heard that from like 5 or 6 different people, believe it or not. So it seems
it's
like
my go-to every time I'm there.
I need to go there. Like, yeah,
Honestly,
maybe if I'm up in Sydney.
Yeah, don't go there for the racing. Go there if you're going to Sydney for Supercars on Friday. Grab a chicken burger and then go home.
Well, if anyone ever goes to Queensland Raceway, go to the food vans at the track, because, like, even though they have some good food at the cafeteria, but like I said, this burger, I don't know how long it had been sitting in there for, but man, it was probably leftovers from what they had back in 1999 when the track first opened.
Yeah, they just preserved it.
Yeah, just preserved it. Just kept it on ice for 20-something years.
Yeah, you get a few hit and misses when it comes to race events in terms of vendors and that. I remember one year, I can't remember what track, but they had the AB we waited so long for it and it ended up being actually horrible. That was disappointing. That was a sad day.
It's like paying $14 for a can of piss at Gold Coast 500.
Jeez, yeah.
Sounds accurate.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate, but
it's different I guess at a racetrack.
So I guess Sydney race. Who's going to be the championship leader at the end of the round?
Thank you for bringing it back to car racing.
Yeah, I just thought we get talking about chicken burgers, and I'm getting hungry as well. So let's
where's what's his name on Facebook? Clayton, chicken burger.
He's a legend. You know, we need his food vendors. We need him at the track.
Yeah, we need him.
100%.
Okay, Clayton, if you're ever listening to this, I doubt very much you would. But no, we need Clayton's chicken burgers at every Supercars race, because it'd just be absolutely mental.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
But you're saying who's going to lead the championship after round 1?
Yep, round 1. Yep.
Toowoomba Seagull.
I'm going to say Ryan Wood. I just feel like he's had some momentum towards the end of last year, apart from obviously that incident. He's in a Toyota. I think the Toyotas will be fucking quick. I reckon they're sandbagging a little bit. I reckon they're onto something. It's Walkinshaw. They don't fuck around. It's Toyota. They don't fuck around. And I just feel the vibe. So I'm right behind True Ass.
I'm going to say Brody Kostecki.
Yeah, I'm going to go, Toowoomba Seagull, Will Brown.
I like those.
But actually, to touch on what you said about Ryan Wood, I think that's actually a fair assessment, because, I mean, look at the shocking amount of luck he had at Bathurst and the Gold Coast. Like, he was on to win at least 2 out of those 3 races.
Even Sandown, didn't he? He even had
Yeah,
a
it was.
mechanical failure there too.
Yeah, it was quick there as well. And then I think
And
even
I think Adelaide too on Saturday.
yeah, allegedly had some fuel issues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, on the Saturday. Yeah, Brock.
but I actually
Brock Meany fans disagree with that one, but yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
They're probably going to blame it on Ryan Wood for Feeney's engine issues too.
yeah,
I mean, no, that's
gotta
the
blame
stupid
something.
part. I wasn't. You don't want to see that happen. Like you want to see a clean, fair fight between the guys going for it, but it happens. It's done. It's dusted. Chaz has got the trophy. And he'll just come back and just absolutely annihilate everyone. Like
it reminds me of 2023 when it was Gisbergen versus Kostecki. That was what everyone was talking about, and then it ended on Saturday, lap 1, turn 3 or 4, when Will Brown knocked him out.
Yeah.
Technically.
then
I wonder if anyone still hits up Will Brown about that one.
Yeah.
No one. I think everyone forgets about that, but I think you ask a lot of people now. People tend to forget that that Brody won the championship that year because it was all the Erebus bullshit that happened afterwards.
I think we've got we've managed to get a new bit of innovation here at Motorsport Moshpit. I've developed a new technology. It's world class. It's literally no other podcast in the world has done this in Australian motorsport. So I've actually developed an AI specifically for V8 Supercars. And by AI, I mean animal intelligence, as in I've just got my dog to predict the results. So, and I'll put the video up on the Motorsport Media socials. But essentially, my dog Luna, great greyhound, she just predicted that Chevrolet will be winning. But from the Chevrolet, this is quite a bold choice. Jack LeBrock will be leading the championship.
Whoa!
What do you mean?
So, yeah, it's a pretty bold innovation, but yeah, it's pretty clever. Obviously, there's a lot of technology.
That's a bit of a dog move for the Mustang fans out there. That'll be interesting. Imagine, actually, I hope Matt Stone Racing do well this year.
Well, they're going to win the round.
Hey,
they're going to win the round.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
So LeBrock, he's back with his old team. That will be interesting to see how. Obviously, he's been with them before, so he knows how they operate already.
I think it'll be nice. I think it'll be a better environment for Jack. Like I think get him in the right team, get him in the right car, he can deliver. So
no, I agree absolutely, and no, I agree.
I think anything's better than Erebus at the moment, but I don't know. They might.
Well, let's leave it there. Though. We don't want legal letters.
Oh, yeah, that being said, though, they're slowly getting better with the how they're operating to some degree. They were pretty shocking last few years, in terms of management and all that. We all know the stories. But I'm excited to see what they do with Job this year. I reckon Job will do really well.
Job might be the breath of fresh air that they needed. So
yeah, absolutely.
I think it'll be probably similar to last year, where there was a lot of flashes of pace, but probably didn't necessarily.
It was never really there, was it? Yeah, Bathurst is when we really saw it.
Cooper Murray did a fucking great job, and Job Stewart as well.
Considering how Cooper started the year too. Spinning Brock Feeney around. Unfortunately, that won't be the last time Feeney got spun. It's just foreshadowing what happened later on.
Yeah,
but no, he improved as the year progressed. So I'm excited to see how both of those drivers are next year. We saw Job, how he performed in the Enduros as well. I'm getting vibes of the Kostecki Brown era for Erebus, and hopefully that is the case with a better ending. Just saying. I'm excited.
Actually, keep your sponsor.
No.
Maybe
they're probably going to run Chico again for Bathurst. They usually do.
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah, just don't let
a winning factor.
Don't let a telecommunications CEO who's controversial on Facebook sponsor you. I'm not going to say his name. I'm not giving him promotion.
Yeah, no, I'm not giving him any free airtime. No, yeah, I think that. Oh, shit, what was I going to say? Yeah, no, I think those are all. I think what all of this to come up with, it's like. I don't think they're out of the realms of possibility. I think they're all somewhat pretty realistic. But again, I think this year with new cars, it's very unknown. So
it's very unknown.
As in Toyota joining, but also too like with the work they've done in the off season with the Camaro, with the Mustang. So
and we've had really pretty much no data as well about it all. So it's really hard to actually make it.
I mean, even if you listen to what Burgess was saying on the Apex Hunters, podcast a couple of weeks ago, like, saying the amount of work that went on. So we could be in for an unknown season. Like if all three makes are like stupidly close, we could be in for one of the best seasons we've had in a long time. Like I would personally love to see like an early car of the future season again, where you had like 4 or 5 teams towards the end going for it. So
yeah, as long as we have all 3 manufacturers in for the fight, I think they've done the right thing. That's the goal at the end of the day. Is as a business for supercars, they want to see all manufacturers doing the best. So it's going to be interesting.
No, but
Oh God.
one thing we never actually touched on was but like I said, what we never touched on was what really got us all into motorsport in the first place. So who wants to go first on that?
Well, I'll go first. Basically, it's quite generic, but I grew up watching it with my family. Always loved it. I remember as a kid, I was never really into it, but I always watched Bathurst. It wasn't until I reached a certain age that I really properly got into it. I was in and out of it because I was young. I still remember going to a friend's house and watching Kyle Reindler's crash in Perth in 2011.
Was that the start line crash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for context, I am the youngest of the group too, so I was actually 11 at the time. So that when I'm a kid, yeah. I remember when the DJR car. Hey?
I was in grade 11.
Yeah, so I'm the shortest and youngest for people playing at home. So that's where I was at the time. But I want to tell you though, this is a bit of a side story. The reason I inspired me to do LTM, right? It was, as well as having a massive passion for it, I went to the Clipsal with Adelaide 500 one year, and I was like, fuck, this is expensive. I don't want to pay for this anymore. So that's why I started. So last year, I didn't pay for a single motorsport event. And so when I got media for the first time for the Adelaide round, that I reached my goal. I was like, yep, I can retire now. That was my goal.
You need to teach me your ways, man.
I'll touch on that. We'll talk about. So there's 2 events I didn't pay for last year. One was the Shannon Speed Series at Queensland Raceway with like GT Challenge and then GT4s and all that other stuff. I ended up getting free entry because of being a Shannon's Club member, because that was a promotion they were running. But also too, it helps having friends in high places, because a friend of mine who was a marshal the weekend of the first round back for supercars at Queensland Raceway, obviously they get given it. This is a bit of a funny story. So they get given a ticket to give to whoever, like family, friends and whatnot. And because it was around the time of my 30th birthday, he's like, hey dude, here's the ticket for the Friday and the Saturday, here you go. And I was only going to go the friggin' Friday and the Saturday, which I obviously did. So I ended up getting there for nothing. But it was funny because he messaged me, like, obviously, like, the ticket wasn't physically given to me to keep. It was more like, hey, this is your present. I'm going to get you in for free those 2 days, right? And he says, like, oh, I've got another, he's like, are you still going on the Sunday? I said, no, I can't make it. And he's just like, oh, would it be okay if I get the ticket back off you so I can give it to a friend of mine? I said, yeah, no problem. But as I'm leaving on the Saturday, this random marshal comes up to me and says, hey, can you take this? This is a ticket for tomorrow if anyone you know is interested. So I ended up could have going the next day anyways.
Oh, well, there you go.
but I ended up keeping the ticket as a souvenir too. I have to thank my girlfriend for that one, because because it was her first time at a supercars event in over like 15 years since she was a kid, and she came out with me and she wanted to stick around and buy like supercars merch and all that other stuff because she hadn't been so long, and if it wasn't for that I wouldn't have got that another ticket. So like, yeah, it's just funny, it's just silly stuff like that happens, you never even know. So
yeah, that's it, you never really know. For a short period during I think 2016 to 2019, I went to the Adelaide round for free, right? So the first year I knew someone who did scrutineering, and obviously, like you said, the marshal officials tend to get extra passes, so I was given that. The year after, I think 2018, I won a giveaway or something. I can't remember. I did that, but then the year after, you remember when Supercars introduced an E series?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that Was that during the COVID time?
No, before. They did have that, but before that, they had it on Forza Motorsport.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
So I took part in that, and I actually made it into the top 20.
Oh, nice.
And unfortunately, I didn't get to make it into the finals to get invited to Bathurst. But I was given free tickets to any round I wanted for the next year. So that's what I did. So that was sweet. That felt cool. And then somehow I won a grid walk after that for that year as well, and a course car ride somehow.
Mhm.
I don't know how that happened. Again, another giveaway. I got really lucky for the next few years. But yeah, that was cool. I'm running my own storage on my phone, I think, from the looks of it, apparently.
No, we won't be too much longer.
No, I'll keep it quick.
Yeah, and Macca, your story.
It's a bit of a weird one because like my family growing up weren't like massive motorsport fans. You know, I think being in New Zealand, like there's obviously everyone knows like race drivers and all that kind of stuff. But I think I just grew up in the era where like race cars were everywhere and they were awesome. You know, whether it's video games, on TV, but you had like awesome cars like, you know, the V8s, Ep.1, sports car, WRC. You had these amazing cars, and it was just something about it that just resonated with me.
Don't worry, I'm just deleting storage so I don't disappear for eternity.
Yeah, but it was just, I don't know, there's just something about it that just resonated with me, and I remember being like 5 years old and just seeing like fucking, what would have been like, I think it might have been like the 99 Bathurst 1000, and there's just something about it that just hooked me. And then you saw like, you know, Hakkinen versus Schumacher and those battles and all that kind of shit. Colin McRae, Paulson Bourne as well in the WRC, and even in New Zealand racing, you know, they had like the NZ8s, there's some awesome shit going on, and the D1 NZ.
Yeah.
There's just so much cool stuff, and it was just, I don't know, it's just something that just resonated with me, and I fell in love with it, and I've just honestly been obsessed with it ever since. And I guess, you know, it's just weird because like my family aren't into it that much, but I'd be watching it every weekend and just by myself. Really, it's kind of sad.
That's why you got us.
Yeah.
But what was everyone, if you remember, what was your first motorsport event you went to?
I have to figure it out. Mine was something at Queensland Raceway, but I can't remember what it was. But actually, I'll quickly touch on how I got into motorsport. So this is a bit of the side story to it, but and wouldn't really say for me personally how I got into it. But a bit of a fun fact. My old man used to race for fun back in the day. He raced a Mini Cooper S, like tracks around the original Lakeside, original Surfers Paradise layout and places like Lakeside. And that was around the time that a certain owner of a Mustang team down in Stapleton on the Gold Coast started his racing career. My dad actually raced against Dick Johnson back in a long time ago.
That's epic.
Yeah, right.
That's
Just a
actually
small
pretty
name,
fucking
you know?
sick.
And it was also back when get this is when Dick was actually racing a Holden of all things.
Yeah, people tend to forget that happened.
Yeah, I think it was an EH from memory that he was racing, what my dad told me. Anyway, but similar to basically like Macca, so obviously with my dad having a bit of a racing history in his younger years, so he would watch the stuff on TV, and then obviously my brother, he would watch it as well. I think there's a photo of me and my brother somewhere, like when he's like a 12 or 11-year-old. So there's a bit of an age gap between him and myself. And myself are probably like 6 or 8 months old, and it's a photo of us in the lounge room watching a Formula One race highlights thing on TV at the time. This is going back in the mid-90s. And then obviously growing up, seeing it on TV because my dad and brother would watch it. But also too, what really got me into, because that was mainly supercars that they would watch, but what really got me into other categories was partly the games that they had going back then, because you had like here's a nostalgic hit. You had games like Toka World Touring Cars, but also the WRC games, Formula One, whatever. But what really got me into knowing more sporting codes was, so growing up as a child, next door neighbors, really good friends with their son at the time. So we grew up together. His dad was a motorsport nut. Like, I'm talking like motorsport freak. Like he was like sim racing back on steering wheel and pedals before it became cool. Like anything he had was just racing. And but what he would do, because he worked a lot of night shifts, so what he'd do, like, this is going back in the days of like VHS, and there'll be some viewers on here who wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Go Google it. So he would have stuff scheduled to tape, or have his wife tape like races, like if WRC was being shown, or if Formula One was being shown on Channel 10, or even the MotoGP at the time. or even on the Saturday and Sunday afternoons, he'd have his wife or his oldest daughter record the races for him when he was at work. And then on the Monday, he would replay it because he hadn't seen the results yet, obviously. Myself and his son, who, like I said, I was quite good friends with, used to watch it with him. And that was also in the era of, like, when you said Colin McRae was dominating all the biggest name in WRC. It was when Rossi first burst onto the scene. You had Michael Schumacher and Ferrari. But then also, too, thanks to stuff like the games that were coming out, like there was the era of like Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, you name it. And then, yeah, and obviously, as you get older, you start to catch up with it. You start to watch it even more. And then, I mean, now motorsport's so accessible because, like, it's at the click of your finger now, whereas, like, I think back then, you really had to, I think, you had to be really passionate to stay up at like 2, 3 a.m. just to watch a race in Hungary, for God's sake. Like,
You have to be real committed
if you weren't rich enough to own a VHS player back in the day. But yeah, so it was basically, so I think I grew up in probably a really good era of motorsport, as it sounds like you did too, Macca, and yourself as well, Daniel. But
Oh, definitely.
but also what we said earlier, as the sport having character, like some of the names I mentioned, like there was just something different about motorsport in general back in that late 90s, early 2000s period. I don't know what it was. I can't even pinpoint it to this day. Like, what the products we still have now are really good. Don't get me wrong, but doesn't have that same. What's the
It
word?
had a charm.
It hasn't got that aura about it.
No, it has a charm. Had a charm to it. It is very special. But yeah, it's like not just supercars, but even F1, like that. Like you said, every sport back then, in terms of racing, had that charm to it.
Oh, dude,
And
it was
I think it's just more. I think we're a bit sport for choice these days. I guess in terms of what's racing around the world.
But that was also in the era of F1 where it was screaming V10s. And I think that's what made F1 so popular back then, is because as soon as you heard that car, even if you weren't watching the screen, you knew exactly what was on.
Yeah. You knew exactly what it was. Even if you're not a racing fan, you can tell if you hear that noise, that's a race car, which is an F1 car. People affiliated race cars with F1 back then. And like, it's just, yeah, like, I agree.
And even now, though, like, I was at the F1 exhibition a couple of weeks ago here in Melbourne, and everyone was like going around. There's a BAR Honda from 2003, I think it was, and everyone was crowding around that, looking at the engine and all this stuff. And then they had more modern ones. I think they had a Lotus that Kimi Räikkönen drove, and like it was a V6 era kind of one. And
nah, it would have been the V8 era.
No,
yeah,
sorry, it wasn't a Kimi Räikkönen car, but it was a V6 turbo. So it was like 2014 onwards kind of thing.
Oh, Maldonado and
yeah, something like that. And no one was looking at it, you know. And then they also had the Mercedes V6 turbo engine from 2015.
Don't they have the 93 Williams car or something like that?
Yeah, they do now. Yeah, I'm kind of pissed off because they only brought it in literally the week after I went. So I was like, the fuck? Like,
it's like it's like if you go to the
but by the way, if you ever go to the F1 exhibition in Melbourne, don't get the fucking simulator thing. It is shit. They have this really nice simulator, all the wheel, all the kit, all the fucking things. Everything's an automatic. Everything's an automatic braking, and like you can't do anything. You literally just turn the wheel and throttle. It's like traction control on, and you can't change it.
So it would have been like like Schumacher's 1994 Benetton.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Richie from CNK is going to hate me for that one.
Hey, it's just facts. Just facts.
Yeah, he's going to scold me for that.
You might get
every other
Salvatore coming down.
Yeah, but you asked earlier what first race event that you remember attending. Was that long ago for me? But I think the one I remember going to. It was a grassroots level race. I think it was Queensland Raceway, but I think it was for my brother's best mate. He used to race in the Gemini series, and that was some cool racing. So yeah, that's the one I first remember. But ever since then, it's like different. It's like either supercars or like production cars or like GT4, GT3, or even
my first one was. Sorry, you finished.
Sorry, I was going to say, or excluding drag racing events.
Yeah, my earliest memory, I think, was 2008, the Adelaide 500. That was my first time. which is also unfortunately the year that had Ashley Cooper crash the turn 8 that year too. I think I went there on a
I
Sunday.
do remember that.
Yeah, so I was too
Turn
young
8.
to really understand what that was all about. But what I am proud of is now I've got a 5-year-old. His first time at a racetrack he was 2 years old.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
And he's sat in 2 race cars already.
Fuck yeah.
So he sat in an RX-8 and then a Hyper Racer. I never the youngest I was probably 13, 14.
Jesus.
So a bit of a difference. Yeah.
What about you,
Dad
Mac?
goals.
Yeah.
Well, I guess for me, like, where I grew up in a place called Tauranga in New Zealand, it's probably like 3-4 hours away from Auckland, and the closest racetrack was fucking ages away. So I went to Taupo, which is where I guess they have the V8s now, where you go out to Puki, which is like 3 hours away. So when I was about 5, they built a speedway, like a clay speedway oval. So yeah, the first race ever was the opening round of that, which is pretty sick. It's just clay ovals, stock cars, that kind of shit. And it was funny because as a teenager, even later on, like there was nothing else to do in Tauranga half the fucking time because it's just like a small town. So the teenagers would actually go to Speedway to hang out. It was actually kind of a cool thing. And it was funny because like, all the other guys are all talking to girls and stuff. And I'm just like, that stock car has a 13B rotary and that one has a 350 Chev. And the girls are like, oh, cool. Yeah. So yeah. Bay Park Speedway, great place.
I do love a good speedway.
But in terms of like my first actual tarmac racetrack was Pukekohe 2003 for the V8s, and that was awesome. Got to meet Brocky, high five Murph, was the best day of my fucking life.
I think you win. I think you easily win the best. That was pretty cool.
I think it sucks that they got rid of Pukekohe.
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit.
Yeah,
but
I still see videos pop up now on TikTok of like what the track looks like now, and like the fact that it's still there. Like they haven't bulldozed.
Yeah, it's not like Orange Park.
They actually have a race event there for the drifting. So like it's being like just that first part's being used for the very last time. It's going to be the very last motorsport event ever at Pukekohe, and it's going to be used for the D1NZ drifting, which is quite cool because that they do turn 1. 200 kilometers an hour sideways. It's the fastest drifting corner in the world.
Craig Lowndes did that back in 2015.
Yeah,
but he fucking binned it.
It sucks. So, like, I understand that things happen and like you can compare it to Oran Park. I mean, it sucks that Oran Park was bulldozed and torn up, but
yeah,
but
the difference with Puki is
I think Puki, like the fact that they took so long to do anything with it, they could have kept racing there for another year or two.
Definitely, yeah. Because the thing is, like, they still have the facilities there because it's a bit like Sandown where they use it for horse racing. But instead of getting rid of horse racing, they got rid of the car racing. It's like, come on, let's just move forward in time, guys. It's just I never understood it, but there's obviously some business model involved. But it's just a shame because like
these days, isn't it?
Yeah, like a lot of those like Oran Park, that was all sold off and turned into housing. So like there was always going to be something, but with Puki, it's still going to be there. Like the track's still technically there. So it's kind of just like insulting in a way. It's kind of just like disrespecting this tradition.
It's
exactly.
Yeah. I actually went past it the other day.
Or even you could say Lakeside.
They are trying with Calder. They're doing some things.
They are.
I would love to see the cars return to the Calder track. Not the
I
Thunderdome.
want them to go back to Malala.
Yeah, not the Thunderdome. I would love to see them go back to Calder.
I actually reckon, like, if they got a good, like, a fair amount of seating around the original Calder circuit, night lights, and just fucking sent V8 Supercars, I reckon it'd be epic.
It would be. I would take that.
Yeah.
I want to see them return to Winton.
Yeah, definitely.
That shouldn't even be off the calendar.
No, I don't understand
why that should be off.
And we consider, and this one is like we consider our piss and moan for the rest of the night. We know why they won't go back at this stage, but the fact that we're not going to Phillip Island anymore is just crap.
Yeah,
well, there's so much history.
I can honestly not think of one boring Phillip Island race.
And it's just a great track to go to. Like, I mean, I went there, I can't remember now, but a couple of years ago. And even just going there, Phillip Island itself's awesome, like from a tourist perspective. But like just going to that racetrack, it is just unreal. Like TV does not do it justice. It's one of those circuits. And to see like a supercar just sending it out there, it's just
It's why I was glad that they brought, even though this is like maybe slight home bias, but it's why I'm glad they brought Queensland Raceway back, because like if you've actually been on the track, you'd actually don't understand how wide the place actually is. And like people say like, oh, Queensland Raceway has always been a dump, everything else like that. I was like, I'll agree. Before Tony Quinn got his hands on it, the place was an actual shithole. So you go out there for like places, go out there for like events like Power Cruise or roll racing and whatnot. Like the facilities were so outdated, it wasn't funny. But the one thing it's always had going for it is the fact that no matter where you sit on that track, you will see everything and you'll hear everything.
So when I saw you, Phelan, last year when I went, that was the first time I ever went to Queensland Raceway.
That was for
the
that,
Legend Car.
Yeah, Legend Cars, yeah.
Yeah, for Legend Car series. And I was blown away. Because I know on TV, like, you look small and I've heard things, you can see everything. I was standing at, turn 3, that hairpin, the right-hander. And I saw the whole fucking thing. It was unreal.
And you
like, no matter where you are,
you don't understand how big the track actually is.
No, it's really surreal.
Well,
and yeah, it is wide too, like you said.
Yeah, but also the one thing that too, last year being the first year back with Queensland Raceway, getting in there from about 2Ks up the road, it took me an hour and a half to get in from there. That's how packed the place was.
Jeez.
From 2Ks up the road, it took me 2 or 3Ks up the road. It took me 90 minutes sitting in traffic. So
God, you might as well just park out.
Yeah, it would have been quicker to walk. It would have been quicker to leave my car on the side of the highway and just walk to the front gate. It would have been quick. But the one thing, but also too, like to show you how, like for me, like yes, it's not the most exciting layout. I will agree with that. But like where you can, because you can see everything from no matter where you stand on the track. But one thing that was really telling, where else are you going to be at a track where you can literally see a car come in front of you, pass for the lead, then 10 seconds later, you can literally see a crash happen in front of you? Because I was standing in between, on the Saturday, I was standing in between the middle of turn 1 and turn 2. And I was like taking snapshots of cars as they came past. Like I think, next thing you know, all I can hear is brakes lock up. I look up and Mason Kelly, whatever his name, I think, it was Mason. Is it Todd's son?
Yeah,
Mason Kelly literally lock up in the grass, T-boning the side of someone else. And we all just looked at each other. We're like, we can hear that from a couple hundred meters back, and we could tell it was bad, even though everyone was all right. But like, where else are you going to get that at a racetrack where you can just literally see, vroom vroom, cars go past you next to you? Like,
yes, it's like a stadium vibe, because obviously you can't go in the infield. So that's what it feels like a stadium where you can see what
ovals.
Yeah.
It's
bring back the Thunderdome.
It's Australia's version of Bristol.
Yeah.
It's probably a fair assumption.
That's a good point.
If they made that dirt though, that would be fucking wild.
Oh jeez, there'll be a lot more crash noises.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, it's a fantastic place. I reckon they've definitely done a good job, like Tony Quinn and that. Facility wise,
knowing what Queensland Raceway was like before Tony Quinn got his hands on it, like he has done an incredible job. Like full credit to him. Like he's revived it to where it should be, and I think it's actually. I honestly think like that there has been talks like with some people saying like you could extend the track and whatnot, but I don't think you could actually extend it considering what the land's like out there.
Yeah, no.
You'd have to cut through.
I don't see a reason why they need to though either. To be honest.
Well, you got to remember how close to the highway it is too. It's exactly like Eastern Creek.
It's very close. Yeah, it's right next door. But Sydney Motorsport Park is literally. It's really close.
Yeah, you drive down the highway in Sydney and you literally see the entrance to turn 1 at Eastern Creek.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
I mean, Pukekohe was right next to a fucking railway. The back straight, that's why they had that massive fucking wall on the side. It was right bloody the main highway railways going into the city.
Yeah, but that was part of the reason why they're trying to get Lakeside shut down is because of all the noise. It's just like, well, no, the track was here first. You decided to put friggin' houses there, you wanker. Like,
well, haven't they put like massive walls or something now there?
Honestly, dude, I couldn't tell you what Lakeside's current condition is, but the idiots are still trying to get it shut down to this day. But you'll still get like a lot of track days and a lot of other stuff like that. But for a proper motorsport thing, I don't even know if we'll see that again. I don't even know if it'd be up to FIA grade specs, to be honest.
Yeah. For context, I'm literally thinking about the wrong track in terms of the sound thing. One Raceway, Wakefield.
Oh yeah, they've got this
They've got the
massive
sound
bloody
barriers.
yeah.
That's you know. Yeah, but even Malala is getting a bit of a touch up as well. It's slowly coming back to life. So it's cool to see all these because we got so many fantastic tracks around the country.
Oh, we
that
do.
we don't-
Like, I don't think, like, even if you look at the supercars calendar from like the early 2000s, the amount of places we actually used to go.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess yeah, that's one thing. Like as you were saying before, like what Tony Quinn's done. Like even back in New Zealand, like you know, Hampton Downs was done by someone else. It was kind of half finished, and he completely changed it place into such a professional facility. And you've got where the V8s are now in Taupo, like that is an awesome facility. And in Highlands, which is fucking incredible. Like that
It's
is
very highly
oh my
regarded
god.
over here.
Oh, Highlands is incredible. I managed to get a hot lap, but if you got a group of people, like 4 people, they do a hot lap in a Porsche Cayenne, and you can all be in the car together, and it is just like it's a fucking good time.
Sounds like it.
And they do the full circuit, and then they do like a couple laps. But that circuit is unreal. Like there's just so much going on. You've got all these different corners. You got like bus stop chicanes. You got curves. You got jumps. You got a bridge.
It's
just awesome.
It's like going down the back straight at Queensland Raceway. I remember at Power Cruise event a couple of years ago, I went for a ride in the VESS ride car. And we were doing like, even though there was cars going around us, power skidding, all this other stuff, I looked at the speedo and this manual 6-speed Commodore wagon with a whatever LS was it came out with at the time, but a carload of 5 of us, and we're still doing 220 clicks down the back straight. Like it's just absolutely incredible. Like with the amount of room we had either side of us and cars just doing power skids and crap right beside us, it was just absolutely hilarious. Like
one of the coolest things I've experienced is getting close to as a passenger, but heading into turn 8 for Adelaide at 180.
That would be terrifying. That would be
Because you see
terrifying.
on TV watching it how narrow it is. Fuck, that track is narrow when you're in a car, but it is sick. It is sick. My mum behind me, she had her eyes closed the whole entire time. She didn't know where she was.
I'm not surprised. Like,
it's fair
if
enough,
you didn't
but
come out of there
that's
with
sick.
like shit in your pants, you're a liar. Like,
Yeah.
Did you wear
Yeah,
brown
exactly.
shorts that day? Like,
I wanted to drive it. I was a crazy
it's also,
kid.
but also like, it's like when you do a track walk of Mount Panorama.
Mm.
The
Yeah,
bit
you did that last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I did it the 6 hour last year, and like we walked it on the Friday night. It took us like 2.5 hours because like I kept stopping for photos, and we just kept looking at the track. And then I mean, the guys I was with, I think one of them was just tanked as all shit and had to piss every 5 minutes. Like, but
I tell you what, I love track walks though.
yeah, but Macca, we'll have to do it at Easter this year if you've never been. Have you ever been to Bathurst?
definitely. No, not yet. It's my
No,
losing my Bathurst virginity.
We'll do a track walk on the Friday and the Saturday. But the bit that really got me was the dipper. Like it's so different in person than it is on TV. But I think the run from the dipper, like looking at it in person, it's kind of like a roller coaster, like something you'd see at Dreamworld, like an amusement park type thing. But the one bit that really shocked me was the run down the Forest Elbow, how steep a decline it is. Like I couldn't get over it. Like I was like, holy shit, that is like looking up at a building.
Yeah, I still
That's wild.
freaked out when I didn't do the track walk, but when we drove up the hill to near the grate, like before the grate, that left-hander, I remember looking down and I could see the final corner from where we were. Like it's fucking like it's just fucking freaky. Like
Yeah,
I'm scared of heights, but like Jesus.
I think just around McPhillamy or just after. I think it's up near where the old Castrol Tower is, just past Skyline. If you stand in the right spot, you can actually see the cars going into the chase.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Far out.
Oh,
you're gonna have fun, Macca. You're gonna have a blast.
Oh, dude, it's honestly like last year was my first year going to there, and
yeah,
it's what people are correct. Like words do not do that place. It's like TV does not do that place justice, or even people's experiences. Words don't do that place justice. You have to experience it for yourself because it's just like even the climb up to turn 2, going over the hump in Mountain Straight. It's just like I remember walking it, going.
I got to be honest though, going to the tracks in real life gives a good perspective. Because Wington, for example, when I went there last year, I didn't realize that the turn 1 and 2 chicane was uphill.
Yeah,
I didn't
'cause-
realize that. You know, you see it on TV like that. But then when you're there, like, holy shit, that's really steep. Even Adelaide, the staircase section is actually an uphill section, but you don't notice that on TV. Yeah, it's just it's not nowhere near Bathurst level, but it's a slight incline.
Right. Because I know that
obviously the back straight they go down.
So myself and a few mates, we actually walked until security told us to get the hell out. We actually walked part of the Gold Coast circuit,
Oh yeah.
and the hairpin on the run. I think it's the hairpin on the run onto the back straight. I think it goes the first. Correct me if I'm wrong. You go for the first part. There's the first couple of turns, but there's a hairpin. I'm pretty sure it goes onto the back straight.
Yeah.
Or a very sharp, like 90-degree turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
We actually I have to get some photos. I have to get for the photos and send it to the chat. How sharp and how blind that corner is, because I realized if you came around the corner and someone's sideways in the middle of the road, you're not going to see them until like your front bumper is in their door. Or also how narrow the chicanes are.
Yeah.
Like, it was just insane.
Oh, turn 8's scary. Like, that's narrow as hell. I don't know how cars fit through there unscathed.
It's hard enough on the Sims, mate.
Yeah, it's hard enough to drive in a game, let alone in real life.
Unless you play like V8 Supercars 3, where the turn 8 is like fucking 4 lanes wide.
It's the size of a plaza. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's just like full throttle. Yeah, all good, mate.
Yeah.
Dude, V8 Supercars 3, I think the only realistic track on that game was Bathurst.
Even then, that's more of a roller coaster.
I was doing like fucking 159s and fucking.
I was doing 200 and around the. I was doing 250 around the gate.
Well, I remember even like doing like 310 Ks down Conrod in a VY Commodore and V8 Supercars too. Like,
yeah, no,
and that's before you even got to the apron. Like,
yeah, but they're goated though, you know.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
like
they're a blast.
Even though we've been chatting for ages, but there's this one thing I want to ask. Considering we touched on this earlier about like how supercars like marketing their product and whatnot, I think those games were the peak of showing how good that supercars was back in that period. The fact that I'll have to go back and look at this, but I'm pretty sure that V8 Supercars 3, the game, rated higher than Gran Turismo 4 at the time. And you remember how good Gran Turismo 4 was.
Yeah, that was literally the GOAT.
Yeah, it was literally one of the best racing games of all time. But also the fact that they covered so many other categories too. Like, it had the development series, but also had like the junior Formula series. Like
they even covered Honda lawn mowing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You had to go to the Codemasters website and put in a code or sign up to get a cheat code or something, and that's how you got it. I remember pestering my dad to do that for me just so I can drive a lawnmower.
That was sick.
No, I more wanted it for the boost cheat that you could do, where you can use your boost for any car, and some cars will actually lift up in the air if you do it right.
I remember racing the trucks.
Oh, they were cool.
They were seriously cool.
That was my introduction to rally driving, actually. V8 Supercars 3.
My introduction to WRC was the original Colin McRae games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, like Colin McRae 2, I still reckon it's goated.
Yeah, I never played it until when I was close to an adult. That was the first time I played those.
So you were saying before about how V8 Supercars 3 is rated higher than Gran Turismo 4? So on Metacritic, which is, you know, a combined thing, V8 Supercars 3 or Toka Race Driver 3, same thing, 82, Gran Turismo 4, 89. So, I mean, to compare that highly to Gran Turismo 4, which is kind of, in my opinion, it's a goat.
It must have been a different rating system though, because I remember seeing something on the V8 Supercars 3 cover as a kid saying that they rated 10 out of 10 or something.
Oh yeah,
but it was the only game in that time that provided that, you know, that realistic racing ability. Like, you can race any series. Like Gran Turismo, yeah, you had those cars, but that game you could drive any series and actually compete in those championships. Right. Have you? I've been playing a lot of that. Last year. I played a lot of it with the Spec 2 mod that people created.
Yeah. I was jamming a bit of that last year as well.
Fucking amazing.
Fuck yeah.
The goat. So anyway, we should wrap it up there though, I guess. And
yeah, let's do an outro as well that you can.
Yeah, we'll do an outro.
Okay. Who wants to do the outro?
Subscribe to our shit.
I'll do something.
Or Jack Smith is coming after you.
Okay.
Your scathe will appear in your mirror.
Okay.
He
Well,
will say over and over again, it's the best shit I've seen all weekend.
okay. So that was episode 1 of the Motorsport Moshpit. Oh God! I fucked it. You go, Maka.
That's staying it.
Come on, redemption round.
All right, so that is a wrap on episode 1 of the Motorsport Moshpit podcast. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, congratulations. I'm not paying for your therapy. But thanks for your time, Maka. Thanks, Daniel. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you don't, we're going to send an effigy of Mark Scaife to your house.